Hey, but where's Mr. Gimman?
Hey,
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So Gimman, good to see you, man. The CEO
yeah,
himself.
yeah.
Hey,
Hopefully, touch me again, and you're gonna find out exactly who I am. Hope.
well, good evening, everyone. Today is Friday, April 11th, 2025. Good to be back on another edition of the closing argument. Um, Today is Friday. An act of the legislature passed in 1883 declared the second Friday in every month as fast and prayer day in Liberia. The day Liberians will go to the places of worship to pray for the subject, to pray for the country, the nation, the leaders, and the entire country. And today, Liberians gathered in the various places of worship, especially the Christian community, to pray for the country and its leaders. So, we want to say happy prayer. Happy fast and prayer day to all Liberians at home and abroad. Mr. Gaiman, today is uh, just a regular Friday open mic because we have no basic big news in Liberia holiday today. So we'll just we'll just chill for today and just talk what on our mind, what's going on. Like today, I was informed that somebody told me we should put it forward today that in 2023 the ANC votes were given to Appleton. The 7% that Appleton received our ANC votes. So the ANC needs to really find out what happened to the votes. Who did it? We don't know, but it was reported that that's what happened. The ANC is about to go to the convention, the global in the USA, and they need to find out what happened in 2023. The votes were given to Appleton. That they need to investigate and find out. It's important. So look forward to them finding out. And also to today, I think today, the next week, the candidates in Nima will be launching. The campaign will be launching, and we're going to see it happening. We're trying to get our guys in Nima as soon as possible. Um, it's really tough, but hopefully we'll be there next week. Looking forward to them getting there. But basically, and then number two, the CDC, the former ruling party, they confusing people today. They endorsed three candidates. They endorsed Garrison Yellow, the former governance commission chairman. They endorsed Mike Blinwon, the former county inspector of Nima County, and Madam Edith Gongloe, former superintendent of Nima County. CDC endorsed all three of them. Some people are critical about that decision, and the party, hopefully, somebody from the party would have been available to find out why they came to such decision. I'm trying to make some calls to find out from them. Yes, hopefully they can say something. But so far, that's why I'm at end.
On the other note, I think the CMC made a major announcement. We see honorability is headed to England. He will be in Manchester City, meeting world leaders. I mean, I'm talking about his organization, leaders, appointed people from all over the world, and they will be marching in Westchester City, London, Great Britain. So CMC or mutability is serious, and this is getting serious. This is my first time seeing a political party, even the CDC never did such as big as CDC was, to say we are going to meet across the pond and we are going to bring organizers from all over the world to come and put together a document that we can present to the world as a leadership document. That is new, and that is that make news. On the other hand, you are this is on the home front here in the United States. If you are in this country, And you have to choose your political events carefully. If you wind up at a protest, if you wind up at an event that you are not sure and you go to protest, the Supreme Court or the U.S. Constitution gave the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the authority to ask for your removal. And today that was affirmed. So if you are in this country and someone invites you to protest, you better know what that protest is all about. You better know who is inviting you, and you better be ready. If anything goes wrong, they are coming for you. And Marco Rubio said, when you were filing for your permit or on your visa form to come to the United States, all of those boxes that you check, no, 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 all the way down, when they find out that you are violating the U.S. policy, foreign policy, national security, they can use your application at the embassy as evidence to kick you out of the country. And this is serious, Mr. George. My uncle Tom you was arrested because when he was filing for his citizenship from a green card holder to a citizenship, he marked no, 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 no on all those boxes. And one of those boxes, some of the question was, have you ever gotten involved in the overthrow of a national government? He said, no. Have you ever been involved where child soldiers were recruited? He said, no. All of those things that had to do with war, killings, everything from in a foreign country, he marked no, 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 no. And when the U.S. government decided to charge him, they charged him on several counts. So this is a warning to us Liberians. Those documents that you fill out at the embassy when you're applying for your visa, be careful as you mark those no, 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 no. It can be used against you in many ways now. So that is a major thing that we need to talk about. We need to warn our folks. Now, when it comes to the CDC one, I said it the other day, there are a lot of folks who are trying, I'm not here to defend the CDC, but being the old politicians, I want to dissect and give the CDC the benefit of the doubt that there was a smooth political move. Because Tomalin, even though there are people who belong to the CDC party that likes the CDC, but don't like Madam Ware, right? And they were going to go somewhere else. So CDC is saying, okay, if you have problem with Mrs. Ware, instead of going somewhere else, go to our plan B, which is Yellow. And if you have problem with Mrs. Ware and Yellow, go to our plan C, Mark Blawan. In that way, we open the floodgate that we can, it basically is a net. We are catching all seditions. If you are sedition and you don't like Mark Blawan, you got plan B, Madam Ware. If you don't like Mark Blawan and Yellow, you got plan C. And if you are sedition, you don't like Mark Blawan, go to plan B, Madam Ware. So they cover all their spots. In this case, there is no reason why any sedition should vote for Koga. There's no reason any sedition, anybody that supported the president should vote for Koga. Because You got plan B and C. So I saw this as it's like a political dragnet. They are capturing and catching all seditions. Nobody going to slip out of this to say, yes, I like the president, but I don't like Madam Ware, so I'm going to vote for Koga. No. And they are not giving you the choice to stay at home either. If you have problem with either one of these candidates, you got two other choices. So I really like this strategy. I was on one of the pages, and when I saw Anthony Kessley responding the way he responded to this press release, I knew that it was hitting them very hard. He said, and I quote, let me pull it up so I can quote him directly. According to him, this is the biggest joke that the CDC, a powerful organization as the CDC, cannot make a single choice. That's what he termed this to be. So obviously, this is from the office of the president. Generally, Mr. George, the president's office through the political advisor, one of the political advisors, the deputy, see this as a better move, and he said it's a joke. If it's a joke and it had no impact, somebody at the highest level will not respond to this because they should be happy. Instead, he said he's very disappointed in the CDC. That's it, George. When I read this, I knew that the dragnet was working. Any sedition that have problem with other sedition, you got two other choices to go to. You are not allowed to stay home, and you can't vote for Koga because you can't have an excuse. And I think that was a smooth political move, Mr. George.
To see Mr. Nangbe. Before Mr. Nangbe comes in, let me say about look, I have a different view. The CDC, I don't think, for me personally, I disagree with that move to go and endorse three persons. Is a sign. Is a sign of. It's a sign of. I don't know how to describe it, but it just. I don't think
In
it is
your
a.
in your opinion,
Yeah, my opinion is not a good political decision. Okay, I know Madam Ware supported CDC in the second round. She endorsed them. She campaigned for them in Nimba. She was there for them in Nimba because I remember I was with the former president when she even called to tell us that they were cheating in Nimba, was going on at that time, and so forth. She worked hard in Nimba for them. Now, when MDR for Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Coe endorsed President we had for the last election, 2017 election, the MDR submitted the names of Mark Bleon to President Weah for appointment and appointed him county inspector. So he worked for them too. So he was more close to Prince Johnson and former and the vice president now, Boy Coon. And Garrison Yelu, he was appointed to serve as the Governance Commission chairman. He supported the president too. So I mean, I thought they would have perhaps met with the three candidates and they come up with a candidate and say, look, let's come together and support one person to make a person stronger, so we can get enough votes. But again, I mean, it's like I said, it's my personal view for it. I just think it was that decision. I don't. For me, if I was voting with them, I would not vote for that kind of decision. I would vote against it. And let me just connect. Let me just correct something. The CMC is not the history that CDC set. No party have set that record. CDC was the fastest growing political party ever in Liberia history. Because I say that to say that I was there from the beginning when we started. Mr. Gayman, Mr. Nangbe, 2004. Samuel Tower was the first CDC USA chairman. Okay, and every weekend we're in a state. Every week we're in a state, and people are just coming on board. Coming on board. Even in Europe, people we had a European chapter. Look, that groundswell support, just because the name was George Weah at the time, George Weah. he received a groundswell support. People gravitated towards the CDC, and I have not seen it since I've been in politics. So that thing, I see CNC talking, there have been he can close.
Chief Joe, let me correct you there.
CNC can close.
Let
He
me
can
correct
close.
you. Let me correct you. Let
Mm,
me get you. Let me put us. Let me
yeah. Go
the
ahead.
check. I put in a big checkpoint. Honorable Nangwe, I want you to listen to this man talking about CDC, and he forgetting about POW. He forgetting about the movement that brought back of my. Either he was very young or he was not born to say that the CDC. Are you kidding me?
I think he prefaced that by saying that he has ever
Say
seen.
he in politics, right?
Yes. So let's give him that.
Okay.
So let's give him that. He's back here taking a call. Maybe he's always also been corrected in the
Yeah,
background.
somebody giving him the rundown.
That's right. But it is good to be here. Let me say hi to all and thanks for joining in, for tuning in. General, I have to agree with you on the 2 points that you made.
Mhm.
Tamlin, did you finish? Or you?
Somebody just called him and told him that he was wrong, but he already corrected.
No,
Just
no,
put him
no,
on the spot.
no. But let me just learn. I
Ah,
repeat that since the forming of some politics, the CDC have been the fastest growing party.
aha.
Yes,
Thank
I
you for the
remember.
thank you for the correction. He not made a correction. That's good. Go
The
ahead.
fact of the matter is that this I CNC you can close because Mr. Nangwe, we started in Minnesota,
Yeah.
but next they were in Georgia, they went to New York, Rhode Island. I mean, everywhere.
But George, why you want to limit this thing to CMC? We're talking about Liberia
But,
politics
but
period.
you say that the fastest,
Why you picking on CMC?
you say they are the fastest growing party.
Ah,
But go ahead, Mr. Nangwe, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Tamlin. You do have a point. I mean, the CDC really, in recent times, they changed the game. I mean, even those of us in the progressive camp, we had to take notice. If you remember, Matthews actually supported we are in 2005, in the 2005 elections. So it is true that the CDC really did. But again, I will agree with Jerome. Musa is not to be written off. I mean, in recent times, how many political parties have done what he's trying to do? He's coming to Europe. He's coming to the US. He's only been in existence, what, 3 or 2 months or so?
yep.
So, I think he's really he's trying to take the game by storm and also change the game as well. I think he is not to be written off. This guy, he seems to have something up his sleeve in a good way. So I agree with you on that. I also agree with you. I think what the CDC is trying to do. I indicated here a few episodes ago that the by-election really is about the major parties planting their markers in Nimba. Yeah, everybody wants to win, but this is not about winning. It is about stacking up, your political capital for 2029. And you can see that the CDC is spreading. They don't want to put their capital in just one individual. So they're going to, so I think they're supporting 3 candidates. Does that sound like a winning strategy? I don't think so. I don't think this is about winning. It is about making sure that you have your political capital banked in number so that you can call it in 2029. In the process, yeah, they could win. I think they made it clear the one candidate they will not support is that of Representative Koga, but they support, Blair one, they support Ms. Gongloe. They also support, I forget the other candidate.
Yellow.
So yes, yellow Garrison. So I think it's a strategy that is intended to spread their reach, and they will call in the chips come 2029. I think this is the long game they're playing.
No, but like I said, like what Anthony Gay is saying, I agree with Anthony Gay. CDC should have done what the ANC did by endorsing one candidate.
Oh,
And
come
honestly,
on. Listen,
yeah, and
this man is an ANC man.
So let me say to Tomlin, let me just say to my young friend Anthony. Sometimes I like his energy, but sometimes Anthony, he sometimes he sometimes bring a ton of vision to this thing. Look, if you look in the Senate, Tomlin, who has the highest number of senators in the Senate? The CDC got 9 senators. Who
Yes.
comes closest? The UP, three. Who comes next? The CPP, three. So this is like three times their closest rival in the Senate. This is only one Senate seat. Even if they lose this seat, what is it going to do to their number? So right now, this is not about winning. I think it is about making sure you plant your marker in number, and then come 2029, you're not going to do it. Don't forget. Oh, you remember April 2020, April 22nd, 2025. We know we helped you, and I think this is what the CCC is doing. So let Anthony remember that I like his strategy, but sometimes you got to see the big picture.
Look, Mr. Tomalin George, those are that been in politics all of our lives. The time politics is not a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not winner takes all. Do you know that CDC, whoever is advising them, tell them basically this is like an Operation Octopus, where you got your tentacles everywhere. Now just imagine you look at Mark Blaine, right? This is a young man who has a long future in politics in Nima to come. You got your one of your arms around him. You got Yelu, a very powerful young man too, who has been in politics, who has a base. You got your arm around him. Then you go down south, right, to the minor belt, and the mother of all minor mothers, uh, Mrs. Gongloe. You grab her and you put your arm around her. Now you got a guild belt, the minor belt, and all the other belts in your grab. This is what I'm saying. It's a dragnet politics, right? Dragnet, you drag. There is no way a Silesian that who dislikes Madam Ware is going to stay home. Because you have a choice. Not only one choice, but you got two choices. If you are a Mark Blavian supporter and you don't have problem with yellow, listen, there you go. If you have problem with yellow, there's no reason to stay home or go for Koga. You have a choice in Madam Ware, and you have a choice in Mark Blavian. So it is. This is very tactical, man. This is cool. Mr. George, I know if you were in that room, you would tell the president, you would tell the citizen, we are going gun ho, we are going one shot, and then guess what? Why you think Anthony and his men from the ANC? I don't want to go there with the numbers.
No, but I just told you
uh,
we are getting the investigation is coming up. The
uh,
10% that the percentage whoever vote the Appleton go for ANC.
my man, I didn't call no number. You call
ANC
it a percent. I didn't call
ANC
no percent.
So let me say this about this, right, Tomlin? I always said, and I have that article. Michael Rubin, a well-regarded State Department operative, he wrote the week following the election, laying out scenario after scenario with proof on how the CPP was cheated. That article is public. Generally, if you didn't see, I will send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
He cited instances where zeros, for instance, where there were 100.
I'm gonna
For
zero there. Make it 1,000.
exactly, they did. Oh yeah, they did all kinds of shenanigans. If you remember in the early days, the CPP along with Ms. Best, with Yanti, the foreign minister, and so I forget the third person, they filed a complaint. But then the foreign minister, now foreign minister, she left the group, and so because the CPP was very aware, and there were credible reports that in fact there was some tampering with the elections. But
The,
again,
the numbers were shockingly unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Especially people saying, but even me, I think I've been in Liberian politics for a long time, never heard Appiton.
No,
Never heard Appiton.
everything he said was shocked. I heard
Yeah,
friends say he himself he expressed shock that he will bring in that many votes that he brought in. I think he said he hardly even campaigned. How could he have won this amount of votes? So, but you know what? We wanted to maintain our stability in Liberia. Right now, we don't want to go back to the dark days of um, we didn't even want to go to court on that. It's better to leave our young fledgling democracy, to thrive. So right now, this CUP is in power. Um, we're praying for them to win, but we'll also let them know when they're not doing well. And right now, they are struggling. They're struggling in almost all categories.
Yes,
Gov-
that's this is what when we're talking about credentialization, right? You cannot hire because you got 20 degrees lined up on a resume and say this guy is qualified without a corresponding experience in managing or success in anything.
yeah,
We talk about President Joseph Walker. There is no record anywhere where this man has run an agency where he has succeeded. There is no record anywhere that shows that Joseph Walker has ever worked outside of government in the private sector to do well. None. There is no record anywhere to show that Joseph Walker has been successful in an attempt to do agriculture. We look at the yellow the green John Deere machines in 4 years. 30 of those machines, they say, were close to $40 million, even more expensive than what he tried to bring in here. And the machines are still there. So if this is why I was very disappointed when I saw the resignation letter from Mrs. Kofa. At the end, she lined up all her degrees across the page. BSc, SSc, PPC, CCP. What does that say about anything? Does that give you any qualification? Without, like I said, corresponding success about the turnover, this is what I did when I was in office, this is what I did, these are the new method, these are the things, nothing. But just degree across. So these people just go to school to get degrees, get certification, and to come back to Liberia and say, here are my degrees. I have never managed anything. But because I got 10 degrees lined up, spent all my years in school,
yeah,
I should not be the minister here because I got more degrees. And most of those positions require only an undergraduate degree with 5 years experience. That's all it takes.
yeah. I mean, certificates are good. Degrees are good. But so far, because you they keep you up to date on best practices in the best practice in your line of work. But the degrees must be complemented by demonstrated competence, experience. Yeah, the papers alone on the wall now, they're not enough. As a matter of fact, nowadays people go more for the experience, demonstrated competence. You got to have a track record of performance, because um almost everywhere you go now, you jump in the fray, you understand me? Running, you don't have that much time to learn on the job. And so that's why people respect people who grow up, through the ranks. Because by the time you get to the top, the chances are you've lived and experienced the kinds of problems that the agency will encounter. You know how to deal with them. Unless you come from somewhere else that is almost similar, or where you put out too many fires. And this is why experience really matters a lot, because some of these problems are cyclical. Maybe every 4 5 years or so, the same problems repeat. And so you come in there armed with that experience and demonstrated competence on how to deal with this. That's what makes you an efficient and effective manager. But it is, yeah, there are some people who are smart like that, Jerome. They come in on day one and they're ready to go. Very few people are like that. But generally, yes, it's something that you learn. You learn over time. The current president, he worked for LPMC, he worked for agriculture, he worked for LPRC. He has a lot of experience and he has the education. And so this is really what is baffling a lot of us.
No,
Is it?
Mr. Langway, let me push back here. Experience, we got two kinds of experiences, right? We have the positive, productive experience, and you got bad experience. If you ask Joseph Wakai, what were your performance review at each of these agencies, and what is it that you did that people can call best practice? What did you introduce that made the Department of Agriculture? Because if you work at agriculture, okay, for 20 years and 50 years in, we are importing pepper, then you can't say you have a legacy there. If you work at LPRC and and 50 years, 20, 30 years later, there's a little fire that caught somewhere, caught fire, and the people using stick to put the fire out. There is
Mhm.
no best practice. You in agriculture, you are minister of agriculture. Here we are. There's nothing. There is no model. I remember when President Tolbo was president, he brought the farm in the mechanized farm. He brought a model that was supposed to begin in bombing. All of those things were in the process when the coup took place. So if Joseph Walker was in the vanguard at the time, what happened? All those best practices. So here we
You
are.
know, not a country. A friend once told me, Jerome, there's a real big difference between a manager and management.
Hmm.
As a manager, yeah, you come in, you clock in, you manage the entity, you make sure nobody sets the place on fire, you make sure everything in order, you go home, you sleep, you come the following day. But as management, you're constantly trying to take the entity over the horizon, the next level. How can we improve on this? What is the next frontier? How do we get from this point to that point? Then you're adapting the attitude of management. So yeah, I can understand what you're saying. It is possible the president most of the experience was as a manager, because you to take him from the level of a manager to a manager, and then you have to go back. What is the track record of innovation? What innovative change did he introduce at these entities? We have to go back and take a look. When he ran LPMC, what kind of innovation did he introduce there? You know, and so it goes up. It goes back to Mary Blanche. Sometimes many people praise the she does a lot of good when she comes in, but she has no there is no strategy to
Yes.
her approach. She comes in, she does a good job, she leaves, and then she leaves no trail for anybody else who comes after her to follow and emulate. Yeah, so we have to go back to the president's days of service and see what did he do there? Maybe we understand these things, we will not be expecting so much, or maybe then we'll be surprised why he's not doing so much because you're able to do so much at these places. So I agree, we have to be able to marry the two. Yes, experience with innovation. What kind of change did you introduce? How did you take this entity beyond just being the normal entity to being an exceptional entity?
Well, that's true. Again, today is a free flow Friday. We just speaking of records. They're talking. No specific agenda for today. It is a holiday in Liberia, fast and prayer day, so there are no much news. But we're just speaking. Again, let me get back to the president's dinner he had last night. The president of the President of Liberia. I really admire that guy. He spoke. He spoke very well. Yes, he was. I respect him. He spoke well. He was direct. He took it to the president in a very respectful manner, and he put
What
his
what did
point across.
what did he say?
He talked about the way how president they are treated in Liberia. He talked about how county superintendents are infringing on the local press in the various counties, and the government should take seize of that. He also said that LBS should be the people's station, not considered only for the government and the ruling party. You should push have access to LBS. But I can tell you, LBS, you go to LBS, you want to even have a program maybe from opposition, they will deny you. They won't give opportunity, and that's not how it should be. It's a public institution for the Liberian people. But and he spoke about it. LBS should be considered. the public institution for the public usage, but and so forth. You talk about how journalists have been treated, how the same thing we were saying last night, how most of them they can't even have payroll meet their payroll. Can't even some of them not even getting paid, and they're just trying to get the news, and so forth. And some people can be uh, disrespectful. Look, Mr. Gilman, Mr. Nangba, you and I know in this country, the press when they put a mic behind you, you see them on the guys at Capitol Hill walking, got them running behind them.
Yeah.
The ministers they're running, put it behind them. But yeah, the man will tell you say when you call him to find out for him what's going on, what you hearing about him, he will just ignore you. But by the time you come out, you write a story on him or come talk about him, then they go to Mika and say they want to debunk you. You should be accessible to everybody. Once it's a media recognized by the president of Liberia, recognize that person, be accessible to them. You know, they have the White House when correspondent whenever they Donald Trump traveling, like he going to Mar-a-Lago this weekend, and he going there or Ben Minister, the press co travel with him, go with him, and they have access to him. But it's not like that. And the guy, the boy, he's demanding that people should have access to the presidency and to institutions of the in the public domain. So he spoke very well yesterday.
Well, one of the things that I expected, this is what we are talking about when we talk. Look, last year, November the 2nd,
Mm.
I was honored to have been a minority owned business. For 25 years, I have owned a business. November 2nd, 1999. You know what I did on my 25th anniversary? I began to do something that the United Way and all of these places we learn a succession plan. How does this organization, this entity, this corporation continue after me? This is what they call best practice. I learned it from working in American corporations. You are not going to be here forever. What is your succession plan? Who is next in line? How well have you trained these people? The integrity of your corporation is on the line. Are these people going to do what you have done for over the past 25 years? The next thing I did was quality control. Some department has to be in charge to make sure that those things that made us successful remain. Somebody has to check to make sure we control our quality. This is what we call the complete best practice. So you go out there and you say, okay, I have done well. People say we've done it. But how does this continue beyond me? This is where now we're talking about institution. When you're talking about management now, this is it. I'm not just a manager. You're talking about management now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The succession plan, when I die, if something happens to me, what happens next? Who is in charge? And then the quality control. If I die or I'm incapable, does the quality of my corporation only stays in name only? With someone walking here and say, man, when Mr. Gateman was here, everything was tip top. Now everything has just gone down the drain. You don't want that. So two things that are important in that would be your succession plan and then the quality control. You got to have those two things. If your quality falls out when you die, then it's like Liberia, right? Most of the political parties are formed around individuals. When the individual dies or something happens, you know how many political parties have gone by the wayside?
Yeah, but just not to cut you about it. One thing I admire about the ANC in South Africa, they have succession
Yes.
plan.
Oh yes.
From Mandela, you saw
Yes.
in Jacob
Yeah. Zuma.
Zuma, you saw
Ramaphosa.
Ramaphosa, all these and gonna go down. Maybe the only person I know who will never become that I radical the guy that way means that
With that, but Malema.
Malima, he will never he forget it. The radical Benny will never came to power, he'll forget that one.
He's a Yega Koluba, but the more
Yeah, he died.
intellectual piece.
Yeah. But he has succession plan. Even the UPP, you guys, I gave you credit, the UPP too. They had that from backers. I think they have Deacon Carlo, all the guys there,
Mhm.
all the and the progressive boys, they had a group. So people could step up. Even Blamo Nels, all of them, all the
Yeah,
guys.
Wesley Johnson, all
Wesley
those guys.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, we thought that I thought that the CDC would have ended up being like an ANC, where I hope so, but we know if they we are decide to retire now, what will happen? Who will be the next in line? We know, but again, we'll look up to see that.
Look, some of
I mean,
us,
we should be, sorry, Jerome.
yeah, no, go ahead.
We should be able to discern it, Tomlin. We don't need to wait. Usually, when the current level is leading, you can see who they bring under their wings. They bring in the young people, and that's how you know they're grooming them to take over. They learn through apprenticeship. They make sure So when the big guys are there, usually the chief of staff, the younger fellows, they begin to give them responsibility little by little, and they begin to bring them into the limelight. That's how you know it's a succession plan. Usually, it doesn't have to be announced, or yeah, but I mean, yeah, if you look around the CDC, I don't know much about. I don't know much about the internal, the leadership structure. But I think you had the president, you have the top layers, you guys, Simon too, and then you have the Jeff Koji, the younger fellows, and then and I think that is some succession plan in the UPP. You're right. We are, yeah, get rid of them. Kawa Wesley, Deacon Marcus down, and then there was us Quick-Apple, Nangwe Fale, Saba, Trobe, the young fellows. Right now we are the old guys now, and so the younger fellows are coming. But yes, every institution should have that succession plan.
Such a
Some institutions forget to do that. And so when the upper layer begins to die off, you begin to have problems. In the ANC, you're right. Sure, Ramaphosa was the youth wing, the little, but the guys that Steve Biko, they die young. But then,
Chris
the
Honey,
younger,
all that and that, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Chris Honey, Machine in it, these younger fellows, they left early. But yeah, every institution you don't have to wait too long. You begin to groom the younger fellows. You give them assignments, and that's how they come of age.
Yeah, but listen, those are us who are institutionalists, right? You saw me distancing myself from the CDC because you bring these ideas and you bring this experience to the organization,
Yeah,
and I'm telling the folks, the institution is too one counted heavy, right? It's top lofa. It's impossible for the organization to grow this way. If you're an organization like the CDC and you say you are a grassroots or you belong to everybody, then you say this thing, then you look at the infrastructure, right? Party infrastructure, and you find out that it doesn't jive with the rhetoric. Then why should some of us who bring a wealth of experience stay with a party whose rhetoric is totally different from the reality? Okay, you say you have a succession plan. Okay, let's look at the succession plan, right? Is it diversified?
yeah.
If the answer is yes, then let's look at the structure.
And
You
the
look
reason why we struggle, Jerome, is because when you begin to do that, people begin to accuse you of trying to steal the thunder from one of the leader. The
at, I
leader has to
guess.
be the shine alone. He has to be the shining star. You can't afford to have another person shining besides the leader, and that is inferiority complex. If you know your competence and what you're able to do, you shouldn't be looking over your shoulders. As a matter of fact, leadership is a collective, a bargain. All of you are in there. No one person is smart enough to run an institution. Yeah, it's a
Possible.
collective. You all put your ideas together, and then you have one arrowhead at the time. They will be the spear for the moment. It doesn't mean nobody else. Yeah, so yeah, but we have a problem with that in Africa and in Liberia. The moment you begin to, pop your head up. Our guys begin to warn you, my man. You gotta be careful now. The chief, and the chief not you're not appreciating the way why is it every time the press asking you questions, you can't ask the chief question and all of that. And sometimes now of your own making, they will recognize you and they see your potential and they come to you. But yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to let people know, yes, I'm the leader, but yeah, today Jerome is good enough. He can, he can speak for us. Or Tomlin is good enough, he can speak for us.
I mean, at least diversify. I mean, look when you look at the CDC. There is my brother George here, right? when you listen to what they say, it sounds so good. But then when you on paper, when you look at the structure, it's totally different. The chairman from Lofa, the co-chair from Lofa, the chief of staff from Lofa, the chairman from Lofa, the secretary general from Lofa, everybody from Lofa. Then how do you say this is the party of the people, of the masses, of the nation? What happened to Nimba? What happened to Bond? What happened to Bassa? What happened to Grand Judah? What happened to Maryland County? Nobody competent to serve anywhere else. All 9 people from Lofa. Then you want to say we should stick around and support. It's not going to happen.
You know, I was just
I
50.
thought that Chief Tomlin then set it up like that. I need the
No,
one
no,
funded the
no.
CDC.
Few minutes ago, I was on the phone with the Secretary General of CDC, Koji. I was just talking to him, and he was telling me, he said, "Well, they did not endorse any candidate. They just gave like a guidance to the partisans." So he said they did not endorse a candidate. They just gave a guidance. But and we're talking, and I was telling him about, I said, the party needs reform, and he say, "Yeah, we'll do it." But I said, with the present structure and what's going on now, but then he told me that he said, "Come what may, they will take power 2029. They'll be re-elected." And I said, "Now with the present form and thing, they
Tomlin, let me
so
tell you this.
I
I'm
said,
not going to see it.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I said reform should take place, and with the present structure, it will not be." And I was just talking before I left the show. Yeah, I called him earlier, then he called me back, so I left the show. But I just telling him, I say, now with the present structure going on right now, the present thing I see in the party, if that's the way they're going to continue, if no, because the thing is that Mr. Nagwe, Mr. Gaiman, the party, look, the CDC of the 2004, 2005, that party, look, you won't believe it. Just imagine now, you got a minister of youth and sport today, a former CDC chairman, Kehleboe Gongloe, you are there. You got who again? You got LB, okay, Fagona King late, but you got who? You got you name it. People that are in the government today, most of them have in serving in government, in the present government, they were often most of them came from CDC. Okay, but it shows that the party have they turn over have been so much over the years. That was asked CDC the other day. I said, tell me which CDC chairman, that former chairman around still? No former chairman around, and so forth. And that's why the party needs to be reformed. And for me, when I was active in the CDC, I was very vocal. Look, let me tell you a story. Ask Ben Sanvee, ask Kev, ask Peabody. When the president met us, when he came to meet us that day when we was spoon to the place. By the time he got there, he came, he said, I said, man, what did you do him? Me. I said, man, what did you do the man? But man, then he said, my gay. The man, I said, who's be like this? Then when I go, the man with me. The man just against me. I mean, to show you, because at that time, I wasn't somebody who, well, I would be that quiet person. No, no, I don't pretend. I was one thing I would not do it in the public, but when in meeting in gathering, I will confront you. I will I will go after you. You're not president, but you are a leader. I will confront it and put my issue to him. Tell him how I feel about things. I wasn't a coward person. And so it is true though. Look, we're close to the extent that when everybody go home now, when everybody go home in a hotel suite, I was always there. When the president sleeping, we will always be there. By the time we all in our room there, that suite there. Whenever I now go to the various places, that the people that remain there, we'll be talking all that happened during the day. What we start comparing notes. Yes, that work cool. And my citizen Bennett, what I used to do, I used to keep my vacation hours. By the time the president, when we are hit America, he said, "My man, I in town. I time I'm taking vacation to come." Oh yes. I time I will leave. I will fly from Rhode Island. I come on. I mean, and from place to place, we should go. But later on, when I felt that things were not going the right way, I just step aside. Um, I gotta get. She said, "The person said I jump ship soon. But I get patient. Who told you that? Yeah, beg you, yeah. Well, whole family against you. Whole family on the other side. You alone. It's not something you are going through. And
It's too heavy.
your friends that want to school, they're attacking you. And then one of the guys, right? Person, we are in a point in the guy. We're in Rhode Island. The man, one day we came for meeting. The man said, "The man got me, oh, you're stupid." I said, "Why? You have to support Joe. We have a president. Support that thing." I said, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "You're an idiot. It cost me, oh." Fast forward, president, I won't call the guy now, embarrassing. They gave me a job. So that day, we were to stay another 2 hours one morning. Then I said, my man, you forgot you told me that in Rhode Island. He said I was stupid because he said, hey, my man, that is that thing, ba. We want to see Sana. Look, politics of seriously, yeah. But you realize that politics and you, you gotta create you have a relationship with people. You can't burn your bridges with people. It's very important. But quickly, man, let me just bring something quick. Let me just ask you quickly. Yeah, you're good. You're 2 years. Good. We're not playing 46 years ago, 45 years ago. Today is April 11. Okay, Mr. Nagwe, Mr. Gamer, you're in Liberia. 46 years ago, we're coming to on April 11. April 11. It was 3 days before the famous April 14. What was happening at that time? Because I saw a communication where Chairman Matthew had written Florence Chenaway and Jesse, and he had made a proposal that price of rice would drop to $9. No, he didn't say that. He said, I will propose, we'll get a proposal that can make rice to come as low as $9. But some people, when people don't understand, they can say, oh, he lied to us, he made rice per $9. That was not true. What I read when I did my research, he said, I'll bring a proposal. We'll bring a proposal that rice can even come as low as $9. Because at the time, the President Toba relatives were all major rice farmer, and
Yes.
and Toba said that they would stop importing imported rice after a certain time, and so the backers then felt that they were going to benefit the rich people, that the farmers they will be making the money. So they key a strategy that rice can come down as low as $9. But then it was during that time the confusion took place, and then before he could even stop the riot, what happened? What happened next? Peabody, welcome. City, welcome.
Welcome, Dr. Peabody, and welcome, Siligi. So you're right. And look, I'll recommend our young people find what we call the voice of the revolution. All of this is detailed, but I'll make it short and simple. So the PAL argument on the price of rice. First of all, you're right. President Tobo's family were the biggest. Right, the president himself in 1978 he got the biggest prize in Liberia as the biggest farmer. He was into farming, the president himself. The slogan was no more Pusawa after 1980. And
It's a
that was the
yes.
slogan.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
So the president decided that they were going to impose more tariff on the importation of Pusawa so that our people would turn away from the Pusawa and buy the country rice, which they were growing. And so they stood to benefit a lot from increasing the price of rice. I think the price from was it $17 to Jerome? I forget the price. I think to $22, $23. But
$22.
yes, there was a difference. So what the PAR was proposing is this: most of our farmers they were and still are. Tomalin, you guys didn't grow in it. I look in the interior. There's something we call the hunger season. There's always a gap from the time the rice finishes from how we call it, where they keep it up, up in the attic. The rice runs out to the next harvest season. Rice, I'm talking about over a month where people run out of rice completely because there is never enough. We don't have enough to carry us from one harvest season to the other because most of our people are subsistence farmers. They farm small little spot because they do it manually. So the PAL argument was, look, our farmers need to bend themselves into cooperatives with the new machinery so that they will mechanize their farming and increase the yield that they are bringing home. They will farm the same plot of land, but they will bring in 4 or 5 times more than what they're bringing in now. That way, they can feed themselves from one harvest season to the other, which has the potential to reduce the price of rice. It's a little bit more detailed than what I'm saying here. It's all detailed in the voice of the revolution. So that is, I don't know what this my friend is talking, but that was the proposal, and the PALs offered to sponsor a research into this matter, pay for it so that they could help the government provide a research that would support what they were proposing. But of course, the government turned that down. I'll pass it on to Jerome.
Yes, the voice of the revolution. For guys, I'm going to call Nathaniel Bear and few other folks that still have copies of the voice of the revolution. I'm going to call Deacon Collar if they have a copy of. There you
Okay.
go.
Let's God.
This
The
this
great.
this
Do
is
that.
this man. If you if this if you were walking down the streets 1977, 78, 79, and you saw this face, there was a big target on his back from the old order. This man that we follow, I was at Bassa High School 1977. I was in the seventh grade.
Hmm.
And we began to hear the noise. The breeze began to blow, and there was a gentleman by the name of Macintosh. I can still remember that name. They came to recruit young folks. The original name given to us was the Barker Matthew Babies. We all joined and we began to hear that this man was coming from the United States. 1978, he was on his way. So when you're talking about a grassroots revolution, the young folks, and the difference between this man and anybody else I have seen, any politician like is his eloquence. This man can move mountains when he speaks. And what gave him gravitas was that he was related to the president. And he could have gotten any job he wanted. But he chose to do what is right by the people. This is the young Barker Matthew who had everything to lose. So when we talk about selflessness, so fast forward to 2004, as I will give you the date, April the 8th, 2004, I went to visit the late T.C. Gould. At the time when Barker Matthew came in, like I said prior, he had looked like sand on Joma. His beard had gotten big and all gray. This is when I asked, yes, you see the picture in the middle there? That's how the top middle picture, that's how he had looked, but the beard had gotten bigger. And when the taxi pulled over, he got out of the cab and we greeted him. And my first question to him was, Emeritus, are you running? Then he said, no, I'm not running, but I have somebody that will take us to the mountaintop. Exactly his words. Then I turned around to T.C. Gould. I said, got to be you, T.C. T.C. Gould said, no, I'm not into politics. I get money from, everybody. And we laughed about it. Then when he was leaving, he said, George Weah. And I turned to T.C. Gould. I said, well, who is George Weah? Before, at the time, I didn't know who George Weah was. Then he said, this is who he is. He's blah, 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 blah. And then when I went back to see Jack Klein talked to me about George Weah. He said, have you met the ambassador? I said, yes. Because I was just with John Blaney, the U.S. ambassador. Then he said, no, not John Blaney. Our ambassador, UNICEF ambassador. That's how he introduced me. He said, have you met him? I said, no, not personally. He said, oh, but he going to Europe to get some soccer and, stuff for the children. So when Barker Matthew says, we have to go with George Weah, that's how come every one of us that were follower of Barker Matthew, I'm talking about April the 8th, 2004. That's how come we pledged our allegiance, me in particular, to George Weah without even meeting him, knowing him. Because once the emeritus, Barker Matthew said, this is the person, we had no choice. Because he had done his work, he had done the due diligence. He said, this is the man that will continue our policy. And he did. When that Pro-Poor agenda thing you guys wrote, when that Pro-Poor document came out, I looked at it. And when I listened to Barker Matthew's speeches, The proper document is a serious document, the PAPD. So yes, for those the young folks that don't know who Back of Matthew is, you need to get to work, read. We will find I will find a newspaper and just read. Go back and read. Mr. Nangbe, talk to us about some of the articles that came out of that paper.
Yeah, as we were talking, I just went into my mailbox. I think there are about 3 volumes. They're all in my mailbox, and tell me I'll forward them to you guys. But basically, some of the things that were talked about, various issues, but the voice of revolution, they dealt a lot about the back and forth between the TWP government and the PAL, leading to April 14th. The Gabriel Matthews, several communications between the then Minister of Finance, who was Florence Chinoweth at the time, and of course Oliver Bright,
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
agriculture. I'm sorry, and of course Oliver Bright, who was then I think the Minister of Justice.
Justice,
You
yeah.
know, yes, and Abba Port's own role in mediating between the progressives and the president. So they spent a lot of time on that, and of course then the proposal that PAR was making, various attempts to go and assemble the guys, a demonstration out of that. So most of the volume they do a lot on that. But I will forward them to you, Tommy, or Dr. Peabody or Jerome as well. Well, just inbox me your email addresses. But the voice of the revolution, basically, most of it was also devoted to political education, how to conduct yourself in the field, how to pursue an argument. Don't back the up. Even some of it you will find it in the UPB Times, and we were talking about succession plan. Other than that, Matthew, then they vacated writing the voice of the revolution, bless you, when they were in government. So they passed that down to us. Milton TJ and I, we were, I think, the last people who worked on the UPP times when the UPP were on the old roll. And some of the ideas were still expressed in those papers. Some of the really worthy advice, don't pursue an argument to a point where you back your opponent in the corner. You got to give them a space to make it come back, or else they'll come through you.
That's
That kind of thing. How to present yourself when you're out in the field so that you make sense to the person you are in. Because politics is all about persuasion. I cannot force you to see things my way. I can only persuade you, and my persuasion, the way I make my argument, sometimes has an impact on your decision on which way to go, whether to accept what I'm arguing or to stay with the facts. So those are some of the things that are in there. Then, of course, the coming of the Americans. Remember, there was a time the U.S. had to send experts here during the Doe time to come and help us, set up governance. I think that the expatriate, I think it was what 83, 84, 85. I'm not sure, but so some part of that also is touched on in that paper. And the last time we were talking, Ben asked me about the Ramsey letter. It kind of really slipped my mind, but I want to look it up. So Minister John G. Ramsey, he wrote a letter in '83, about 4 counts in that letter, laid out a plan for the then president Samuel Doe, how to roll over from a military leader to perpetuate himself as a civilian leader, and what he needed to do, how to systematically get rid of the progressives, pushing up to Israel, to America, dismiss the Libyan. All of that is in there. So those are also addressed in those papers.
Well, we just that's an iceberg. We tease people.
Yeah.
We come more to that. Just a little bit. Want to tease people, but since we have not started the show, we're still working on the show. We'll come back there
So
because
one last thing, Tamlin,
yeah,
because I had to say this. I'm sorry. Many people perceive of the PAL and the PPP and the UPP struggle, as a Congo native thing. If you read
yeah.
those papers, there's absolutely nothing in that paper about Congo or native. It was always the TWP and their policies towards the Liberian people. the complete dominance and subjugation of our people. At the time of 79 or leading up to 79, the DWP oligarchy, they probably comprised not more than 4% of the population. At the time, the what do we call that? The annual pay. There's an not, I forget. But an individual, the ordinary person was taking home around $70 per annum, not per month.
Yeah.
And a minister in the government was taking around $3,000 per month. So look at that disparity. And yet our people were paying to the rally time, they were making contribution to the government out of that $70.
Yes. Okay. Like I said, but again, it brings us back to the point today that after 40 some more years later, uh, today where our country is today, they are being led by these quote unquote indigenous sons and daughters of Liberia. And today we are considered the eighth poorest nation on the earth. And when people and the problem people still trying to figure is that, I mean, how can we still say we want our country will transform, will change? We have had almost all the prayer, fast and prayer, all the revivals, everything they have done. Today again, I saw people marching like bro, in thousands. They say they were under the banner of the Christian Association, marching, praying in the rain. But yet and still, today, and the country is just going. Apparently, every election cycle, the country just going retrogressing instead of progressing, we're retrogressing. And now, instead of all solve the problem, our friends that will say we're forming new parties. We used to go on a new movement. We want this to this new place. At the end of the day, Labrador is still where it is today. Okay, and it's a serious thing though. Our friends are leaving us behind. They're going. People now spend most of the time in Ghana. I got friends that I work with at my job. They go to Sierra Leone. I saw one of them. They tell me what they're doing there. They're doing great things. But our country, I will still fighting for speaker position. We're still fighting for the budget, and I will got $800 million budget. Only 20% is earmarked for goods and services for the Liberian people. The rest of the 80% for salaries and benefits. So I don't know. And yet and still, if we decide to say, well, let us, what can we? What's the problem with us that we cannot get it right to say this is that go this way now. We try this way, try to we can go this way now. Why we still? What's the problem? We still right now. You ask all who want to play now. You ask us right now with that set, we come up with a problem. Diagnose the problem like bro. Also okay now. I say now, so but now we think now can take this country to to take out all of this problem. We have different views, different which is not it's human, but yeah, that's still. But we should know by now. 178 years, and we still can't get it. I mean, is it a curse or what? What's the problem?
But let me give you this now. We got to go to the tutorial here, and we are all senior citizens. We are all, I mean, in the sense of our intellect. Let's go back to the formation of Western civilization, right? If you read the concept of the original thesis from Martin Luther, what was the argument? The argument was, if the scripture says that every man, I mean man and woman, will give an account of himself before the Almighty God, the question was, why is the Catholic Church reading the Bible to people? So the argument there was, if we are saying we will stand before the Lord and give an account of ourselves, then we should be taught to read the Bible for ourselves so we cannot blame our clergy. This was the beginning of public education, that everybody would be educated. Let's come back to graduate school. My public policy professor, Dr. Michael Dukakis, I asked him this question: what makes the U.S. Constitution so powerful? A little book. And he says to me, There are other constitutions around the world that are far better. And he pointed out the South African constitution that basically addressed every human nature. He said, but what says the U.S. Constitution is about? It is a living document, few pages. But we have had a culture that was developed to respect, to keep that constitution alive. So let's go back to Liberia. Let's look at the literacy rate of Liberia. See if we have established the culture to respect, understand, and interpret what is it we wrote on paper. I would say the literacy rate in Liberia now, those that can read or attempt to read may be around 40%, the most. And those who can read and comprehend will be maybe 10% of that. I'm not talking about reading. Anybody can read, but can you comprehend what you read? So here we are, we have a constitution. The constitution guarantees that we are going to elect people of our kind, our own. We have an illiterate society that cannot comprehend. You elect men and women that can barely read and write and comprehend to interpret a document that was written to be implemented. So, yes, in that sense, we are cursed because you have a bunch of men and women who sits in Congress and stand there with a degree in a packet from Harvard and say, I am going to interpret what the Supreme Court says. These are people we say went to a law degree from Harvard. Then you go to the Supreme Court and you saw another Harvard graduate, Councilor Vonnie Sherman, and you saw the way he performed. And then you wonder what happened to us if the best of our best cannot even comprehend. Then what do you say about my mother who doesn't speak English? She never wore shoes. She was in the village. You expect her to do what? So your question about us being cursed? No, we are not cursed. We have not invested in ourselves, in our children, and the next generation to not read and write because degrees, they got it everywhere. But can they comprehend? Thank you.
Look, man, you see, generally, Mr. Gayman, you talk about a Harvard degree. A Harvard degree 50 years ago is nothing compared to what we have today. When was the last time Vonnie Sherman ever wrote a professional law journal that people can read and follow and say Vonnie Sherman did this and things like that? The book that Vonnie Sherman used in law school 50 years ago probably ain't exist no more. You know, so so that's why you see him going in court and arguing on nonsense because it was 50 years ago when he read those law books. That's why he accurate. Those things have updated. You've been here. You got here better school. Those books in the last 6 months, and you got a new one coming up, and even advanced in what it is. That's why Vonnie Sherman is challenging something in court that don't make sense because he graded 50 years ago from Harvard. Those things he learned, some of the basics may still be there, but a lot is not there. I don't know whether he have even updated his profession to say, you know what, I got to write this, or I go, yeah, not up to the thing. He go back arguing the same thing. You know, I mean, a lot of what you said is our people. A lot of them know what is right. A lot of them know what is good. But the only way they can suppress the people and keep them down is by doing what they do. There are a lot of young, educated Liberians. When President Ellen Sally took over, a lot of those kids were in Europe, London, Sweden, other places. They came back home because they were not part of political parties. They dropped them, even if they were playing significant role in the country for Liberia. A lot of them, one group come in, We don't believe in the merit system in our country. We don't. We don't believe in the merit system in our country. So one group come in, Baka came in, he's doing his own thing, and other people come in to bring in people. Once you're part of the party, that's your credential. Just be a partisan. You can be from you can be a high school grad. That's why I mean, look, I like your point, but look at the poor Baka bringing in his government to develop his government. All the poor graduated from college, probably you were not even born when some of them graduated from college. That's the point you bring into this modern world. Some of them don't even have email address or email account. That's the point he bring in his government to change. It's not going to change. Nothing going to change. Biden Chairman should be retired now. Technically, he should be retired, but he's there. Somebody with 50 years got
In
it.
the government,
And we making know about it. I'll stop there. Somebody else coming.
he in the government, right?
No, I
Who?
don't think so. But he
Oh,
represented. He was, I think, the lead lawyer for the 43, the so-called.
But
So, but let me say that quickly, right? And Dr. Peabody and Jerome are not wrong, but I think part of our major problem has been, bad governance. You need a leader who, one, will be a populist leader, and who will be willing to take the hard decisions. I think President Torgbean came close to being that person, but he suffered the twin evils of, one, uh, fighting an opposition from his own TWP. President Torgbean was not a favorite, so he had a problem bringing his TWP people along with him to where he wanted to take the country. And then, unfortunately, the young people, the same very people that he sent to school, including the Matthews, that he helped go to school, the Chipo, who was Joseph Chester, their impatience, too little, too late. So that kind of doomed him. Charles Taylor was the next president who I think came close to doing that. I mean, Charles Taylor won his election in 1997 on the first round. I think he won by 75% of the.
77% vote.
There
Yeah,
you go. There you
but
go.
that was
So
not
he
an
was.
election. Now that was not an election. That was a selection. Come
No
on now.
election.
Oh, come on, come
uh,
on, Timberlake. Come
I
on,
mean,
Timberlake.
Jerome to
I
Jerome.
voted. I voted for
But,
Ellie. I
but
voted
the point being, Jerome, I think he had enough gravitas to drive real change. But then the excesses that accompanied, the NPF fell. I think they were just too much, and too many people just couldn't stand, And so then, of course, the Sierra Leone thing. So that took him. But the short side is we need a popular leader. President Weir, he probably was the next person who had that kind of who had that kind of impact on people, the ability to move people. Yes, he didn't win on the first ballot, but he had that opportunity, and unfortunately, he did not get to use his appeal. A lot of people like President Weir. I mean, myself, I like him. Um, but his governance style really disappointed a lot of us. But you need a populist leader who will be willing to put country first and make the hard decisions. We don't have that. We haven't had that yet in Liberia, and that is what's killing us. This current president right now, I mean, you said it, only 20%. You were generous. When you took out the salary and all of that, it's almost like 12 to 13% that is left for everything else. The rest of it goes into, you know, recurring expenditure, cars, scratch cars, generated fuel, new cars, salaries. How are you going to develop a country on 12% of the budget? So we haven't had that kind of leader, who would say, all right, we need to really tighten our belts. Or there is a moratorium on new cars, maybe for the next 3 years or whatever it is. There's a moratorium on, big travel, all those things that are draining our economy. I mean, if they're paying you, you should be able to buy your own phone time. Why are they still giving you scratch car? You know, why they have to give you fuel for your generator if you can't, then it is, we are indirectly saying LEC will never be efficient because we have accepted that as an alternative. Otherwise, we'll take the money and improve LEC and make it better so that they can supply the whole country instead of taking that money and buying diesel fuel for generators to run for leaders of government. So I think this is what is holding us back. I mean, it's not the only thing, but I think those are the few things. We need a leader who will want to be a populist leader, and sometimes you gain popularity by your decisions.
That's
We're
right.
seeing that in Burkina Faso, the young fellow there, he's very endearing himself to his people because of what he has done over the past few months.
Yeah, in a very short period of time,
Yeah,
that man had. So why is it that the miracle that he is performing in Burkina Faso? Now all the Liberians sit back there, see the picking in Burkina Faso, see the picking Burkina Faso. All your young people talking about see the picking Burkina Faso, you're starting them vote for 80-year-old man to be your leader.
But
But not
people,
people.
there, yeah, the picture up right now. Today, my people, today is a free flow Friday. We're just talking free flow Friday. The picture up here now is the guy who running in Nima Koga. Now, you would think the people that this is cry. Yeah, this Koga, one of his, I think one of his rally he had. Now you think they ain't that dancing. You would think the people will say, well, the people that are in power already, we got to send a message to them. Anybody that the people support, we should stand by the opposition right now to make a message, strong message to them. Like what they did in Wisconsin recently in America, yeah. But you think they would do that? But yeah, you see, the dancing and they entertaining them after election, they will gain their car, their windshield up, and then move on.
yeah,
When I met this guy the first time, this guy, he's a bluff ball. Let me tell you, who has a bluff ball? In fact, he want to do who the who the dye hair. He dye hair, right? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, But
Not the kind of die I got.
I know, right? But who got
No, he got a real yomo.
and he's somebody who let him. I remember
Really, you talking plenty, you'll be stepping on people's coin.
oh,
You better watch yourself.
yeah,
Hmm?
sorry, okay.
I mean,
You know,
I don't
when
have it, but you gotta watch yourself.
okay, I
Huh?
think yeah, but the guy that bluff ball,
Listen,
right?
man.
The bluff ball.
Listen,
We're having lunch. We're
listen.
having lunch.
We need to go. We need to call how to call it just for men so they can pay us because you just advertising it for free.
No, sorry. I met the guy the first time, right? We're in Lima, in Ganta, where there was this guy who they call Flop Toma, and at that time the senator now, Senator Kuhn, were having lunch. The guy came there, ball came there, man. The ball just, I mean, see the ball, go wash, chin on your neck, and he just talk. I mean, he like that kind of bluffer person, bluffer dude. And all the guy talking about here, talking only thing about my man.
Take a video down, man. We don't want to promote this man here.
Okay, but I just want to show the young, what people they say, right? The people there, you see the people that are doing surprise. You think, but guess what? It's voting the same people. It's a problem. It's a problem. You
People
know.
don't, the people don't know any better. I don't know who
No,
educate
but
them.
it doesn't mean that people will vote for him now because you know what happened in Liberia. Sometimes they all show up and they take your money and then they turn
No,
around
no.
and vote for somebody
They
else.
see
So
my
that's
people when they say one person, they mean one person. That's how they are.
yeah.
You
So,
see?
but it is something that we have to continuously. When you look at what Honorable Mr. Nambi's post, I mean his title, you will see Backup Matthew never said he was a means to an end. As long that there were human conditions, the struggle will always be present. So the struggle will always continue. And guess what? Politicians, they are very good at turning the situation to their favor. This revolution that happened in the 70s and that ended in 1980, it was never about native and Congo because most of the folks that were actually I see the guy who recruited me, he knew a Macintosh. Okay, so it wasn't a country boy per se. Backer Matthew himself. So we have all these people. It was a conglomeration of people who had conscience that wanted to make change. Some had more to lose than others, but the the power to be were able to turn this thing. It was the native people, even as we speak, right? Let's look at from 1980, right? From 1980 to now, the, the word is, well, since the progressive came from 1980, it's been 44 years. What have you guys done? As though it was progressive that had run the country since then. When you look at the presidency, right? You look at Charles Taylor, you look at whether woman is Grace Perry, you look at Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, all of these folks, and in between, there were no small potatoes either, and they're not from the other side. These people are members of the establishment. And when they ran the country, they had protection, they had the ears of the world. We can say the true failure, the failed presidency in the history of Liberia is Ellen. Ellen was given the opportunity to establish a new republic. And this is what Ellen bequeathed us. High salary. Why should government official want to support LEC? You tell me a guy, some place there, making $3,600 a month or $3,600 a month on gas for his generator. Why would he support LEC to come about? A man who sits in his home and gets $2,000 a month, that $24,000 a year for housing allowance. Why would he support LEC? A man who sits in his house and get what, $500-600 for a scratch car that he uses to bribe young folks. How they call that? How they call some kind of brigade, according to Mr. Nyenwolo from the Ministry of Information when he was leaving. They were forming this brigade, defender of the something mission brigade, to go on every, if Tomalin or Dr. Peabody or Nambe, you get on here, you say anything negative, whether it is factual or not, these people will come from everywhere, and they will be commenting on your post, disgracing you, attempting to curse you, to discredit you, whatever it is, even if it's factual. They are on government payroll for doing that. So here we are, these people have no incentive to make things right in Liberia because they are the direct beneficiary of the LEC going up. If I got $3,600 a month for my generator, you can't bring a bill to bring LEC, why would I sign off on it? $3,600 a month, multiply that by 12 months and see if I will vote for LEC to come. Dr. Peabody, I know you got your Dr. Peabody and Tomalin George, you got your generator, you got your $3,000 generator, so you don't care for electricity. You live in large.
But let me say this though. One thing I was talking to a friend I think yesterday or today, and I know right now everybody investing like bro, everybody preparing to move like bro, everybody preparing to move like bro maybe in the next 10, 15 years, 10 years or so when everybody who going to retirement now, and you want to live your best life in Liberia, you want to live your best life, you want to live like living in America, even more than what you live in America. And I keep telling my friends, people, I say, if you guys will continue to make the same decisions every day, every year, every election cycle, then you'll be affected. And then when you are relocated home, they won't, if they can't tell you, say, oh my man, no, you have opportunity to do that power that Obama said. You recently you're talking. The most important position in the country is a position of a citizen. It's true. Yes. When you make that decision, when every 6 years you have make a decision that can change your life, transform your life. 'Cause all the guys can do, they go, they kind of put pictures on Facebook. Oh, I met with the person, I in the person, and they go on and writing there, praising them, yeah. And then the minute you try to even critique them, they come and attack you on it. And then when you can't find out, all because they getting low handles from these guys. So I was telling somebody last night, 2029 my last. If we don't get it right, I'm done. To God. If we get it
Yeah,
right,
but Tony,
buddy,
I,
if we get it right, buddy, I'm done. I
Yeah,
will
guys,
I personally,
I dropped something in the private chat. You guys take a look at it.
yeah, I personally,
Okay.
I would not encourage people to rush to go to Liberia right now. to be honest. Because you know what? We are still not where we need to be for basic life. We're
Okay.
still not
But
where we
buddy,
are.
you
Huh?
can what you can do right now, okay? You can prepare for that time. What you do, you go and make that investment there and prepare for that time. So that by the time when everything decide to get it right, then you have something to go to
I
work.
know you can prepare for that time, but I don't see the opportunity. I don't see. I mean, because you want to move back home, you must have a regular and permanent source of flow of income. Because you go back home, a lot of things could go wrong. A lot of things could go wrong. Okay, I've seen thousands of Liberians who have planned to go to Liberia. They have made plan that when I go there, I will do this business. This business will help me in the next 10 years. I will generate it, be able to generate this, and everything goes zero. The first thing is any country that don't have a credible justice system, you're risking your life to go and live there. Simple bit of information. The highest court of the land cannot even come out to interpret it. Without a credible justice system, you go there, you just lose because you will get burned, you will go to court, you will get burned in that court system, and you just get frustrated. The best thing that the Liberian the country could have shown is that the legal system will be independent. And we have not seen that in our country. Everywhere you go, people have told me how you got a case, you go to court. The sheriff or whoever in the court is calling somebody, tell that man to leave and go home because they come to arrest him. A lady and her husband, she's married to this American. All their saving, the guy and his wife have planned to move to Liberia and they were buying a house. They send the money to the developer. These guys were building houses on shuffling highway.
Yes,
The
I
people
saw that
send,
video.
the people send the money. Every time the woman call him, I'll be coming. What the hell? Oh, guy, your house ready. Oh, the woman call. Oh, this is your house. The woman husband wanted Liberia. He said, oh, this is your house. They couldn't finish your house. She
Hmm.
took this guy to court. She did. When the sheriff were going to arrest the guy, somebody from the very court called and said, hey, my man, you better give it to come to arrest you.
Hmm.
Is that a place that I will go and invest and then everything goes zero? Things can go zero in that country in a minute. Because
Yeah,
one of the things that we should have had, look, other countries are very corrupt. Ghana, Nigeria, they are very corrupt. But one thing they preserve is the justice system in Ghana. I know a Liberian lady when I lived in Ghana. She was married to this Ghanaian doctor. For years, they went to different countries. He set her back home. He broke up with this lady because he found another woman was bringing this lady in to take the home from his wife or whatever. This lady went to court, a Liberian in the system. The legal system protected this woman. They went by the law. The judge said, this is our law. It doesn't matter whether she's Liberian or she's a foreigner. And this lady was awarded the home. Another situation I witnessed, one Liberian kid was involved in this black money scam. And apparently they went to Romania, they robbed this guy, and because the guy had so much money, he flew into Ghana and bribed the security and told that he wanted to carry the guy back to Romania and kill the guy. They went to court. You know what the judge did? The judge ordered this guy to leave Ghana within 24 hours. He said, what kind of human being are you who come into our country and want to take another person to your country because you got money? The judge ordered him to leave in 24 hours. I'm not saying sharing this story because the law is what protect that country. Everybody will go and read about it, say Liberian law. Then businesses will be comfortable to come and say, yeah, we can invest 50 million and that burn us, the court will protect us. You don't find that in Liberia. You can't find it. You got people sitting now on simple cases. It's all about who what the old Liberian who know you. and that the only way top government official they are not subject to any kind of legal consequences and stuff like that. Our law have failed us and is still failing us. People you expect to know the law and they're not. So it's difficult to even trust. Look at simple things going on with Fonetico for how long it taking the Supreme Court to simple things like that. Very simple things. Or the president said postpone the case, or will not get paid, will not do this one. So you rather sit there. All the people, very all of them, every year you got over 100 people graduating from law school. They can interpret simple Supreme Court ultra virus. All of them graduate cum laude, this one from the blue Arabian school of law, this, that. Simple thing. They'll rather go against it. They don't have the integrity. Lawyers should have integrity. A lot of them don't have it. A lot of them. Arthur 12, who are considered one of the smartest in Liberia, just a minister. Look at the nonsense he did.
Yeah,
And
I think
people have followed.
he plunged the country. He plunged the country into this
Yes.
mess. He. But again, like I said, if the Supreme Court rules in favor of Kofa and his team, the president's workers should ask him for his resignation. He should be relieved because you ill advised the executive branch, and it went straight according to what you said. Even the Senate followed suit, and today we're in this mess. Imagine since October last year, this is what the country have been going through. Money money they spent to give the guys 15,000 each to sign our resolution. Then they kept them to ROJ hotel to the Farmington Hotel for almost 3 months. I mean, oh, our Liberian
But
population.
too many, it's not that alone. Look at people who went to Liberia and committed crime. And they were flown out of the country the next day or in a few hours. It's not that alone. That shows how weak the US government say, hey, these people are involved with drugs, they are this. You arrest those people, take them to court, it ain't take long. Boom, they drop all the cases, they're gone. Is that why you get fed, you get real justice in that country? No, I don't trust it.
It's sad. It's sad because, for instance, right? Look what the country going through. What the country have gone through. I mean, look at it. What's happening? All that thing, all that money. Our population, right? We don't have that population where the population that is intentional, where we stand up to the powers that be. Look, I remember Badi and Gimen when I was in Nigeria, when they had a Nigerian student leader. Imagine again a military and dictator at the time was the guy Abamagida. That ball. The boys the children when they go for the protest, on the mission, they will not rest. People will get killed and all. But at the end of the day, they prevail. But look at Liberia. The people saying that right in your nose. They
Mm-hmm.
pay all that money.
Yep.
You're struggling. You
Yep.
you can just go together and say, okay, we demand that we stay into the legislature today, we stay into the capital building, you're entering a place today. If you can put an end to this thing you're doing, you're not entering a place.
They ain't got the guts to do it.
If police can come and start showing and doing that tear gas and something, you can prevent it. They will stop it. At a certain point in time, they will stop because at the end of the day, you're forced them to say the last resort now maybe they want to do something different where the world look at them different. But we're not brave. They're not brave. Oh, that's why people give me the guys from yesterday. I always give them credit. Imagine they were going against the military or government of Samuel Doe. They stood up. Eh? The boys and the guys were brave. They, I think that the other guy got killed. They died in the war. But yeah, that's still they are martyrs. We agree. But the man that Gabia Tapia,
Charles Bayon.
got Charles Boyon. He's a journalist. They said
Slice the throat.
had a recording, and he said he must produce it. He said he can do it, and that man died.
Integrity.
Yes,
Integrity.
but today
Integrity.
nobody will do it. They will make beat him off. When they say the protest, my time the police come with it, and the police not many. When they chose on the water truck when they put the tear gas, they all disperse. Then they go back. Then they finish it. That's why I said I don't talk about protest. I don't hear about protest because they're all jokers. You protest, you say you make a big noise. The minute they start, they go there. Then when they just come one time, when they strike on them, they all give up. Because if Liberia was a serious country, the impasse would not have continued. Man, the people look the kind of money the country has, and the people just be using the money, and they let it get away with it. Look, some of you be brave to even drive your good car. The train will surround your car and say, "Direct our money in the car," but nothing they will do about it.
Nothing.
Eh? And what they'll do when you talk about them, then they count on the plate and cost you. They'll tell you, say, "Look at you, very give you job." Look at that. The man in America, oh, he said the man very getting job like bro. Ah, the man in America, telling you say he very getting job, he vex, he jealous. Come on, brother.
Look, there's, like I'm saying, if the foundation is rotten, you can build it all you want. It's not going to be. If it's the
Yeah.
foundation is crooked, the house is going to be crooked.
Right.
Look at, let's say, the reason I'm blaming Ellen, and God knows I love her and I care for her, but this woman had the opportunity to build a new republic from scratch. Dr. Peabody, just imagine a country totally destroyed, and it's the people brought you with all this support. The whole world is around you. Say whatever you want, just do it right, and they gave you everything, and then you left. Last week, Dr. Arikina, the former ambassador to the UN, this woman led close to 500 citizens. They're not only going to Ghana anymore. Guess where they went? Burkina Faso. People from the Caribbean, from all over, from the diaspora of blacks, moving because they like what they see in Burkina Faso. They are moving to Burkina
Mm-hmm.
Faso,
Mm-hmm.
not Ghana anymore.
Yeah.
So the question is, just imagine if the people are willing to go to where they're fighting war, where terrorists are on the verge of doing whatever they want to do. And people from all around the world are saying, we like what we see here. We want to be a part of this. No problem. What happened to us in Liberia that nobody wants to be attracted to us? What the folks say, if people don't want to sit near you, sometimes you go in the bathroom and take out your shirt and maybe smell under your arm, or go and put your hand by your mouth and see whether it's your bad breath that keeping people away.
Mm-hmm.
So Liberia has to come to terms with itself. Why is it that nobody is picking us? Nobody is coming to us. And then the answers are there. When our own friend Philip Banks, they say one of the brightest lawyers in Liberia, was just a minister. They arrested some folks at the airport. They said they were potential drug dealers. They seized what like $500,000, whatever 100,000 they took. He took the people money and said he took some of the money and built a fence for the president. Can you imagine the justice minister taking a criminal's money without going through the process? And unilaterally building a fence, he says, according to him. So why, like you said, the justice system, right? As we speak, last week I got a call from my brother in Buchanan. My land that was purchased, paid for, probated in the city of Buchanan. Somebody is trying to build on it.
Yeah.
And when they took the deed to the guy said, yes, my family sold the land to your brother, but they divided the money. They didn't give me my equal share.
So I
So
came back up.
I came back and I'm claiming the land. Can you imagine the land was sold by the executive, the person who was legally?
Yeah.
So this is what we are talking about. Now we have to go back to Upper Buchanan to sue this gentleman with our legitimate deed. I had to hire a lawyer to go out there and say, this is the deed, it was probated, it went through this court, these are the receipts, this is the man I paid to. Whatever happens in the family, whether they get his fair share or not, should have no bearing on this property.
But the thing is, if there's a government, you will pay that money, and if the court find that man guilty and tell him to pay all the costs, he ain't got a damn thing to give.
Nothing.
But
Nothing.
you know what happening in the next few years from now. Your market, those in the diaspora that are investing back home, right, doing their best, preparing, and people are building them their dream homes in Liberia. I see some homes there. I mean, you would think that house is in Europe or in America, but they're building nice homes in Liberia. They will go back home, and mind you, people. I'll tell somebody, America, you got safety nets. You got your 401k, you got your social security. Some people be getting about 3,000, 4,000 every month until they die from social security. Some people get there, they'll get all that money from the 401k. They'll get it. And then they'll have Medicaid, free medical benefits. And then the children that all in, they got kids, the children then going to school and getting a career will be doing well, doing good. And they won't have to worry. They won't need government job. They won't need to be anything in Liberia. But people will live a comfortable life, and then we'll start saying, "Oh, the person mean. Look at you acting like you know us." But don't the person will tell you that I told you when it was time to vote, you kept voting for somebody who didn't get your time. You kept voting with making the same mistake, voting the same people who suppressing you, oppressing you. So don't blame me. I advised you, and I told you for me, it's not about me, it's about you. You're the one who have had opportunity to go abroad, to advance yourself, and also to make a better life for yourself, future for yourself. So don't blame me for that. So you see, people take it for a joke, but it will come to pass. That's why even when you go home nowadays, you go on vacation, you go for a visit and go there. See some people there, they feel that some they worshiping you. No. I tell them, I said, no. If if any way I can help you, I will help you. But when it comes to the time to change to the politics, please make the right decision. You can't vote somebody who they ain't do nothing for you. They're doing the same thing. They just taking the money and using it. They enriching themselves and their friends and family. Then you vote for them again. You vote for the same people and for the last 20 years, whatever people been doing like bro, the lawmakers that the leadership of the country, they've been doing the same thing. And the results have not changed. So
Yeah,
if you make
but
a mistake,
but Mr. Honorable George and to Dr. Peabody here, you know, it's deeper than that because the last time when the people went to vote, we all went on the air and we say they should clean house. And out of the 15 senators that went, I think only two came back. So the people did do their work. And they replaced the ratting people with even more ratting
but
people.
then they
So
do their
what do
work.
we do?
They do the work because Mr. Gimmer, they have people who they are candidates who look, Mr. Gimmer, if when you're looking at candidate, when you having interaction with the candidates, you ask them question. First of
They
all,
did. They
look,
did.
but then
I
you want
mean,
to
look at Amara Kone. We look at Comey. I mean, how do you call it, Bonnie? Dylan. Our own man McGill. Cheer. All these people that came in. Okay, what are they doing? We now say again, 2029, we should clean house again. Yeah, we'll clean house, and guess what? Who are we going to replace them with? Another group of poor people that have nowhere to stay in Monrovia, that had no food to eat. They are coming in. They will say the first 4 year for me that I will build a house. Then the next year I will start doing something for the four. That's what this is why Musa ability makes sense when he says the way to hold these people accountable is to reduce the term. If that man knows that as a representative he will have to face his people every 3 years, maybe his attitude will change. But when he gets 6 to 9 years, like Dylan said, I don't care. Even if I die, my coffin will be dripped with a Liberian flag, and that's enough for me. If a lawmaker says that, you give him a whole decade, 2 million, add 10 years or 9 years to your life, right? You just add 9 years to your age and see where you're going to be 9 years, 2029, where you're going to be. And then if 2029, like you say, if they don't get it right, 2029, you add another 9 years, that 2038. So I agree with you. If this time they don't have it right, just pull your hand up and say, you know what, I'm
let me
done.
I'm clear. I'm clear. I'm very clear. Look, for instance, right? Let me tell you. Uh, during the last election, my family, none of them voted for the candidate I was supporting. None of them. when we're having the debate, when I go home, having the debate, I tell him, I say, I will ask him, I say, let me ask you a question. I mean, look, I say, well, what kind of vision Boga got that will take the country from point A to point B? What vision he has right now? He say, oh, your job we are friend. He invested the country or to the thing. I say, okay, no problem. Put my we are friend one side. How about Cummings? Oh, big man. That man where they put they get all kind of reason. That make no sense. So I say, I can remind you. Let me tell you. I say at least my friend, we are president, right? In one can to the bureau here. When I meet my friend here, and what can be they can make me happy. Your year that day, one of our friend say, oh, we're having birthday party for me to my sister place. When I got a call, they say, oh, one of your man, I say you might go to the place. You might go somewhere. When the people are there, had a surprise thing for me. Okay, I say it's interesting, involved, everything will know that. But you see now too, you voting for the man, and I can tell you nothing good will come from all what you're voting for. All the things that's so Vlad thing you're talking. All the brother will tell me say, brother T, JB will be different. We'll have jobs here. We'll have jobs here. We'll have investment coming here. Let today now. Let today now. I told them, our class say, when you're in Lehi, when time come, it will be rough because I won't be able to carry say, Fafa. Yeah, my friend will be all the power now. They're gone. Yeah. The other man I say, my voice, your own voice, you say he didn't that. But that what happening now. Then my man can tell my own man can tell me, say, oh, your friend of the put ain't going, you can't tell your friend. I said, I remember the rescue team. Not because man and friend is I get in front again for getting a job. No. I'm part of the rescue team. They put your vote there, they want in power. You see?
But
And they don't
but
get it. They don't get
but
it.
Tony, I have never mimicked my words since Spoon days. I've always said that Joe Baga was too old to lead Liberia. I always said it.
You say that.
I've never changed. And now you've seen it. Even some of his loyal supporter like Jerome Verdia was again on Spoon the other day talking about that the president is his age. He's really don't know what's happening. Really can't control what's going on in government. We said this, but our people are used to making wrong decisions. They are very good at voting in bad people. They're very good at it. I mean, and you can't convince them. Too many. I was in Liberia a while ago, just talking something on the election. There's a lady who tried to disrespect him, trying to insult him, because you remember that day when we went in single somewhere there.
Oh, uh, you mean that there?
What at when we met your mama locally right in that spot,
You were
some
there,
spot
you were
there.
there that day, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she
The lady
was
was
so
there.
rude,
You were attacking me. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
attacking the diaspora Liberian. Y'all in
Yeah.
America, y'all do know nothing. Blah, blah, blah. I said to
And
me,
the
then
next
you
one
know
in that
more.
now, they talking, they blasting. And mind
Mhm.
you, the man would have called issue. And she was one of his funny members of CDC. But
Sure.
because and the problem by the time they get the problem, then you take it and put it up, you put it into A2. No, that you see that and never you see. No, I'm sorry to say, but for instance, look at our former network. There was a broadcast station there, right?
Yep.
The guys that went above and beyond, did everything to promote. I mean, everybody was there. I was looking at a video yesterday. I think, hey man, where they have all of them, Stephen Johnson, they were all on that program. I think President Baka was there too. They were there. They were there all there in suit. They were there, and he was saying the country will take power. They were what will happen. But today, check the platform. No, and then there again. And then the platform are tear against the man. No, I mean, no, not because you have problem with Peabody and we know people, Peabody is, he has the gift to do certain things. So you might put the whole country at risk to that. Don't do that. That's why I don't. When I hear people say, "Oh, you're not fight the government," I say, no, I ain't into that thing with you. I won't be objective. Yeah, if the government does well, I will praise them. They blunder,
Yep.
we criticize them. Yeah, we not
And
take, we
that's
not
how
make
it's
the word.
supposed.
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Well, but the given we can get it. I don't know when we'll get it.
We don't get a general body.
Why think Ghanaians? I always like to reference to Ghana because I lived there more than 6 years during the Liberian Civil War. Going back into that places that I used to live in, Accra is no more. They all developed because Ghanaians have put the rule of law. They have put the country, and they would do anything when it comes to Ghana and their law. We don't
Oh
care.
yes.
You still have people in that country.
US 422
You know,
West.
we are just carried away by little things, stupid things. You know, so what will become of our country? Look at Sierra Leone. I was in Sierra Leone 3 years ago, and the beach that they have developed, the beaches, even the condos and things. Those are things that Liberian. We like the beach. We see y'all going to the beach, thousands and thousands, but go to the beaches in Liberia. So poor, poorly managed, poorly, no development, nothing going to the country. You know, why we can't even travel? That's why a lot of international flight people say, "Oh, no flight going to Liberia." Liberia buying power is zero. It's poor. How many jobs people have in Liberia to travel from other countries or go places for vacation? The buying power is poor. Who want to invite 5-10 million dollars in Liberia when you don't have people to even invest into that business of buying? We don't even care. Go everywhere in Liberia. The major restaurants are owned by Lebanese, Indian, other people coming in, and all it's owned by them. Lebanese own most of the major restaurants, even the little snack bar that you sort of hop into and get the sandwich and burger. They got all over Liberia is shawarma. They got shawarma bar, shawarma restaurant everywhere. They got shawarma, and Liberian poured in to buy those things. We, so what do we control in our own country? Okay, the managers at restaurants, Boulevard Palace, Mama Point, all the managers there are Lebanese or somebody from a different country. So you want to tell me Liberia are not capable to manage those things? You had to bring Lebanese to be manager of a restaurant? Catering, major events, catering is controlled by Lebanese. You go to Nima, Floor Toma hotel and restaurant is being managed by Lebanese. Now tell me, what do we have? We probably have 10% in our country. The rest controlled by Lebanese. And you want to tell me we can't control those things? Liberian are great cook. Liberian can make good pastries. Beautiful, nice food. We can't even control those things. All is managed by Lebanese. I like going to. I went to a restaurant one time in Monrovia. The Lebanese restaurant. They don't cook Liberian food. You in our country. You cooking. You say you got a restaurant. But you cannot display a Liberian food. Cannot happen in anywhere in Ghana.
Let me not cut you off. I just came from Liberia, right? So I'm at the embassy, and they decided to take me out to lunch. So they, we went to this restaurant called Diana Restaurant, right?
Mm-mm.
When we were growing up, Diana Restaurant was the top restaurant in Liberia in the 80s, 70s, and the 80s. So I was excited. I said, let's go. We got we got to Diana Restaurant, and they brought me the menu, and the manager came out. It's a Lebanese guy, and on the menu had flatbread, Lebanese bread, Lebanese menu, Lebanese dish, everything on there. So I didn't know, I basically knew anything on there. He came to me and told me, "Oh, try this, try that, try this, try that." And I tried it. I have never tasted food so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that took me there, obviously, they might have been a restaurant of choice to them, and they were familiar with all the Lebanese dishes and having a great time. And I'm sitting there, and I'm saying, "This is the Diana restaurant that when I was here." And I look at it, I said, "So, what you were saying that is exactly right. You go, but one thing they have, the waitresses, which is another disgrace, all were young Liberian ladies, and they couldn't explain to me what food was that. They kept wanting to tell me, try this, try that. Some of the names were so strange. But then when I look around me, I didn't see too many Liberians either. They were all expats from different places there. So I'm sitting here and I'm saying, this is our home. The economy is totally in the hands of people who come here, use Liberia basically as a farm where they come to harvest, take our money, and the CIA and the US government has spotted most of these companies and told some of these folks that these people are supporters of terrorism around the world,
Yep. Yep.
using Liberia as a transit point, drawing the money from Liberia and supporting Hezbollah and all of these
Yep.
places. And yet and still,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Peabody opens a restaurant there. He owns it. They will never patronize you, but
They
they
will not.
rather see the Lebanese or the Indians operate something and they all flock them. When you imagine, I think it was 3 years ago when they opened this fabulous nightclub, and the Lebanese guys that own the nightclub or restaurant decided that no Liberian woman was going to go to their restaurant and bar unless you were escorted by a male. You remember
Mm-hmm.
that controversy happened a
Yeah.
couple of years ago? Can you
Yep.
imagine in our own country,
Yep.
you open a bar and restaurant and
I've been in Liberia.
yes,
Wow.
and said that if a Liberian woman comes in there, she has to be escorted by a male.
Wow.
But then all the female lawyers got involved when the women from the different embassies came into the restaurant and bar. They walk in freely from the German embassy, American embassy, all of these other embassies. That law didn't apply to them. But once you were Liberian, they want, I guess they were applying the Sharia law that you had to be accompanied by a male. But then when the Liberian Female Lawyer Association and other women started protesting, then they rescinded that law. The government closed it down for a day, and they opened it right back up
Okay. Of course.
without a
Because
corresponding fine and all of these things to say you cannot treat our women like this in our own country.
I mean, I with a given, and that's why I have settled, and that's one of the reason I have that I will not really really live in Liberia. I want to do it, but it's not really something that I will ever do right now.
I know. I
Because
know. Why maybe not Liberia, bro? That country too. That country.
the
That country.
fact is again,
But
man,
that country,
is to
Liberia.
see those kind of things happening in Liberia. I went to just recently when in Monrovia. I have come from. I think we came from Bummy, and I wanted to. It was late, and I wanted to grab like some Liberian chicken wings or something, a fish, big fish. The driver said, "Well, let's go to this place, very good place." So ignorant, dude. Came to this place. All the guys Lebanese shawarma. This, I think, man, don't bring me the kind of place. I'm not coming here to eat Liberian food. Lebanese food. This is not my place, a restaurant. Oh, but cheap the place, the food. I think don't give me that nonsense. Is it Liberian food? Shawarma, this one, all Lebanese food, and it's packed with Liberians online to pick up the food. Driving, we can't patronize our own people. Go to Boulevard Palace. I mean, what Boulevard Palace? The manager for the restaurant there is a
Uh-huh.
Lebanese.
The one that just killed himself,
No, I don't know
allegedly.
which one that the manager. Yeah,
That probably that downstairs he died.
Yeah, yeah. He just
they they.
he
But
Let
committed
me tell you,
suicide.
they go in the
they
Facebook.
the restaurant there
Yeah, upstairs.
have a Lebanese manager.
Manager, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Royal Hotel.
You know, I should do when I was stopped to Burial Palace. I asked the girls I can clean my room. I asked how much they paying you. They can tell me say they paying I think one something. They say, but when we miss day, when we sick, they can pay you for a. I say, eh? So when you sick, they can pay you for a, and they can't say in hospital either. You are there. I say, what? They try and tell you, they whisper in your ear, say, but when they say that only tip will depend on you. When you come to the hotel and we'll clean your room, you'll give us more money. I say, what? So man, look, if you will tell you say, trust me, the young girl money they pay. Am I you? if you miss a day, they call it from your pay. Call it from your pay. And you got all official government can let go there. They can't. They say you can't even form workers or union that side. You try, they will fire you straight. No union. And they put some personal people there. The children are going through. No, can you imagine the children tell
Tony,
you
the thing is, our officials don't care.
they don't care. Mm-mm.
Liberianization policy is very important. But Liberians are not even inclined to that level to know that this is the only place we have. This is the only place we call home. We can go anywhere else and nobody will recognize us as being part of it. The only place that people can see us. That's why I always say something I go Liberia. One thing I love is to hear the chicken crow in the morning, around about 6 in the morning, 5, 6. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I hear the chicken crow. I feel like I'm home. Sometimes sleeping, I hear people walking around the house and talking. I say, yeah, this is home for me.
Yeah, that one made
But
Liberia that one that connection to that country. In
you
the
know,
morning, everybody you get in the morning, you go and taking your morning walk. You smell the ura of that ura
yeah,
of the country. Then you come when you come home, you get the butter pear, you get the mango, you got all the foods then there
yeah.
for you to eat for breakfast sometimes. Oh,
Fresh.
But
they're
we,
great.
but we don't have. I mean, on a Sunday, I leave church. I want to eat the Liberian collard greens and stuff. I drive to 5 different restaurants in Maria, or I can't find it. The only place I went, I remember one day I went to Boulevard Palace. I went to Royal Hotel. I couldn't find no Liberian food. The only place I found it was Fusion. I got to Fusion that day, and the lady said we got chocolate and gravy. I said, yeah, give it to me. Why should I go eat Lebanese food on Sunday? Eh? I'd rather even swallow my doma on Sunday, say I'll drink my pepper soup or eat
That's
something and
right.
go to a Lebanese place to go eat shawarma. Eh? And the controls all the strategic area. One Ghana guy asked me, say, what do you guys control? One of my Ghanaian friends in Liberia. The guy in Liberia, he said, Peabody. So where the Liberian business is at? Where Liberian business? All the supermarkets are Lebanese. Every
Supermarket.
little,
When you
even
go to supermarket,
fruit shop, coffee shop right at Royal. That's the coffee shop that got there.
when you go
There's
to supermarket,
Lebanese.
you know the
Oh my
supermarket, you go to
God.
supermarket,
What kind
they
of
give
country is
everybody.
that?
People go to market, what can you do there? The Lebanese man, at the registry where the people can pay the money. The
Standing
Lebanese man,
over
he right
the
there.
cashier.
He looking at the
Watch it.
cashier, just there. They train there. Even the washing the children. This is why the children will do anything.
Mhm.
But so the children, no, oh my God, it's hard to know. It's hard.
And no government will come and say, you know what? We need to change the labor law in the country. We need certain business will be owned. Ghana, you can't go open business there to milk. You have to have a Ghanaian who will be in the head of that business. Ghanaian have that have Ghana developed the day people have built the country. You can't just go open business like that. I don't care how much money you get. You gotta put a Ghanaian. Ghanaian gotta be willing the head of that business. And they read about it. That's the only way the country could have developed. But we have not gotten that concept. We're taking jobs and still giving it to Ghanaian. We're taking contracts, giving it to them. I mean, I don't know what is wrong with us. I really don't. The airport, the business launch is run by a Ghanaian. So when you go there, you don't eat Liberian food. You eat Ghana jollof rice.
Yeah, but Dr. Peabody, we're talking about, you know, Honorable George was here talking about we have to have a show on soccer, on sports. I am a sports fanatic, basketball fanatic, because all my 4 children play basketball. All 2 of them play college ball. So I know I love sports. The Liberia sports ambassador, right? Someone that's supposed to promote Liberian sports. Where did Joseph Waka go? To Senegal.
Yeah.
I heard that guy since I know the sense he had people that break on that. I think he on your own now. I
Wait,
can't buy
wait.
no more.
Listen, they brought this man in because he was the fiance of Mandela Cooper or whatever
Hmm.
that was. They made him, with all the Liberians in the country, they made him an ambassador, royal
Yeah.
ambassador, the face of Liberian sports to the outside world.
Give him diplomatic passport.
gave him diplomatic passport, made name for himself, established his contact and everything. You fire him now is almost, I mean, it's like
It's
crazy.
blah.
Because the man said it. The man said, I have made contact with Adidas, Nike, all of these. I want to do sports academy, but he won't tell you where he wants to do the sports academy. I won't be surprised he has it already established in Senegal, where he's making a
Of
lot of
course.
money off Liberia. Where is it in Liberia that he has established that? The same thing with uh, uh, the other ambassador that were on here, Odaninga, whatever his name is. The man came
That's
out
too
here.
many classmates.
Yeah, who?
Too many classmates.
Somebody who boy came over and said he was in the jungle somewhere, but then behind here you can see the name over there.
You mean the method of our bush boy? What you said?
Sylvester went after the
Is that
man.
That's
bush?
the pissed the
It's
method
a
off.
bush. Is a bush cow?
Yeah, the method was pissed.
So, I mean, our own country. Can you imagine taking the phase of tourism
It really
and
is.
putting it in the hand of a guy who says my location is unknown because what is it? I'm in the jungle somewhere.
Mhm.
But then how can you tell a bold-faced lie and right behind you and telling you the name of the hotel? You say, I can't tell you right now. My internet will go up because I'm in the jungle somewhere. The internet. I looking at this. I said, where? Why? Why? I was at a hotel in Buchanan and the same thing. I took some folks from here. We went and we were at a hotel, and for some reason 2 o'clock in the morning, I needed some ice. So I knocked on the manager's door and the kitchen's door to see if everybody was there. When they opened the door, 4 women lying on the bare floor, under the
Damn.
lap they had there.
Tired.
And I'm saying to myself, what? On the bare floor? So I asked the lady, I said, you didn't go home? She said, no, if I go home, I may be late coming. So they told us, not only that we are sleeping here, but a gentleman put 2 padlocks on the door. 2
Yeah,
padlocks.
that was the man too.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I said, what happened if there's a fire in here? He said, Mr. Gamer, I want to do theft prevention. I don't want to stealing anything. That's the mindset he has. 4 women lying on the floor. And he had padlocks on the outside. So if there were fire, there were any emergency, they couldn't get out.
Mhm.
The next day, I told my guest, I said, we are getting out of here. We left and checked into another hotel.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to put my money in that kind of place.
Of course.
Treating our
Of
people
course.
that, I mean, people lying on the bare floor.
Human rights abuse. That what you call, you know.
But
And
for
this will
the,
make probably $50.
she said to pay her $75 a
Yeah.
month.
Yes.
Woman.
And she couldn't afford to lose that $75. So
Yeah. No
what,
opportunity.
who know what else they're doing to them over there? Just for $75.
And that's why you see, look, how to call it, uh, 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 um, how to call it when you're talking about this, we're talking another day about these guys who are getting paid. Honestly, I was told yesterday by somebody that very good. Yeah,
That's good.
my big brother's Elman saying this.
That's very good, Elman Phillips. That
Oh
is
yeah.
very good.
This time when I went, okay, I took all my guests to Ada Lagoon because
Yes.
that's my
Right.
boss.
Gus.
The other guys say, "Oh, because
something I played out.
he's
Gus,
from Basso,
dama.
that Basso thing." I said, "No, we
Gus
get good,
Payne, yeah.
we get good treatment here. The rates are reasonable. I was paying $180 a night at the Boulevard Hotel.
And nothing they got there.
No, I was there for 10 days.
I can't
10
go that
days.
I can't. Only time I go that place except for a meeting with somebody, but I can't go. I can't stay there again.
10 days I was
And
over there.
imagine-
People were 5. Just imagine 5.
When you go there and your family cook you food and bring the food there, it was poor. Nowhere to keep the food. But when
No.
you eat a nice place, put and refrigerator.
Gus Place is one of the best. The breakfast you eat there
Oh yeah.
Are you talking about cassava and gravy? Cornmeal with milk.
You
You
know,
talk, I mean,
You know,
cornbread.
they
when you
make
think
me, they man, everybody know you bastard now. You know,
no,
like,
but, no, but,
with the small feet.
but what he's saying is true.
Yeah.
But
You're a small fish. You're right. Yes.
there's a place by the water, by God's place. You sit by the water there, by the you look at the water when you're eating, right? In the place. Yeah,
That's
because we
correct.
got the calabash, we're
And
not
the
far from it.
lagoon.
Yeah, they far from it. But anything I about about hotels there because when you there, you can't you because your space is small. Like for instance, when you get I Liverpool can't visit when they can't visit me at that, we having nice time talking there, then we can cook in the house. Cook the house so the food will be enough. You cook enough food.
Number 20. God has a suite that is very nice. The new flat that
Eh,
he built, even though it doesn't have a kitchen, but it have a whole little sitting place by itself. You know, and one
but
thing I
body,
like, you pay a
body,
little nothing, and you eat a $25 meal a
no,
day for
The
breakfast.
food, the food is good.
body, my problem
Very
is
good
this.
food.
My problem is this. Like for instance, when in Liberia, my sister or my sister also cook for me, right? When they cook, they make different food. Flour, my
Too many
favorite
can have too many can have 10 different meals.
yeah, flour sauce
We
coming, my
stayed on the Oro one day,
yeah.
and we didn't eat. We couldn't eat all the food we were leaving, and the food we still have fresh food in the bag we were leaving.
Because food will be enough. It's by there, you get it. Then you get water, suck of water there. So you gotta spend too much money, like that. It's easy that way, but then go.
So the next year, I will bring you and Mr. Gilman the orange grove at that guest house, and
Oh, yes.
yo just stay there free of charge. Doma will be made breakfast. I mean, yo will have the best free. Yo stay there free of charge. We'll have a big suite, and
Wow.
everything will be there. The swimming pool and the palawa. By next year, this time that building should be completed. I'm
Yes.
serious.
Great. We
But
come to
Yeah,
Orange Grove. Where's
you'll
AB
come to
Williams?
orange grove. You'll come and
I'm gonna
visit
call.
me.
no,
I'm
but
gonna call. I'm gonna call you.
we-
Everybody from Orange
I
Grove
think
is going.
about 4 years ago, we went to Liberia, Peabody, myself, decoration day. We went there after we left the grave. When the poor facing Domo, we went behind the place. We said, we don't have we have be our Domo. Man, that place. You don't take chances, right? We'll be our own Domo. We put the woman said, oh yeah. We put it, they fixed it for all. We pound it. We put it in a bowl. Put it right there. We ate it right there. We came from behind the house now. They said, your food. I said, no, we finished. We failed. I said, oh, so we don't eat it. Oh. So they come, you come inside me. I beg you,
Well, we stay right behind the place 12 hours double after we beat it.
Listen, when I go to Orange Grove, I don't want cassava. I want the real breadfruit domo.
My man.
The real breadfruit
Next
domo.
year, God's willing, by this
That's
time,
right. That's
we'll
right.
have breadfruit and cassava,
The,
different kind of domo.
breadfruit is
Every
awesome.
Saturday.
I don't know. Tommy, ever had a breadfruit domo before?
Oh yeah, yes, yes, yes.
With pan butter. With pan
That's
butter.
right. There you go.
No, but I went to
Right?
my last trip. I went to Nimba. One woman I met. I think one of my sister's friend. She went for my sister 25th wedding anniversary and the church anniversary. So she was from the States too. So while we're in Labrador, her birthday was that same time. So when we met at the Calabash, her mother came from Nima. Everybody was there. So the woman said, my son, my come to Nima. Come. She thought I was joking. Woman say, what you want eat? I want eat GB. When I got there that night, man, woman have my GB. Woman kill chicken, kill good, my man. Man, I told wash my hand. I started my dinner. She said, what you eat in the morning? I said, I don't eat my flour sauce. Oh, my favorite soup. Man, it's a difference. The food you eat in Liberia is different than what you eat in America. It's different.
It's
Different.
completely different.
Organic. Yes.
I have never eaten GB before.
I just ate a Nima.
What?
Me, the vice president now, when he was senator, we swallow GB around a push in Nima, in Ganta, with our hand. Soon our breakfast that morning. Soon that morning. We brought the GB, we swallow our hand. I said, wow.
You see,
What?
what is it? What her name? Agnes Bagley. She said, "Oh, we're talking about today the food." Yes, but listen, y'all say we talk politics all day.
Yeah.
Y'all talk something. We talking real food now.
Real food, though. I'm serious. So one day y'all watch y'all on live eating our domo and swallowing it. Yo,
That's
I'm
right.
I want to swallow my hand, my domo. I swallow my hand.
He's spelling Orange Grove. It's
Yeah.
Orange Grove.
Orange.
Orange
you
Grove,
ever
right
eat
after
this?
cotton tree.
Yes. When you go
Right
to
after
Buchanan,
cotton tree.
when you go into Bassa, when you pass the airport, when you go is that the Farmington River, right?
Firestone.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
go,
Orange Grove. Yeah,
so you go over the Farmington before you get in that area. That's Orange Grove. That's the original. That
I
is,
will.
oh Lord.
God's
Listen,
willing, God's willing, I will bring you on a weekend. You will come, and all of you will stay in the street, and yeah, everything will be there, and we'll swallow that duma, we'll eat that dry rice, and Sunday we'll eat collard green
oh,
before we leave.
oh.
God,
Listen, Dr. Peabody, tell these people about the political powerhouses that have come from Orange Grove. Tell
oh, a
us some of
lot,
the things. We're talking about people that actually have integrity,
a
people,
lot.
uh, uh, the
Charles
artists over
William,
there,
Emmett
right?
Hammer, you
Uh-huh.
name them. A
The
lot of powerful people, you know.
artists,
They're artists, yeah. They
oh
bought you.
Lord, about
From
you. I
from from
mean,
a deputy speaker hand bought you. His whole
hands
family.
about you.
Yeah. The Hill.
Artists was
The artist
a
were
torn,
represented.
yeah, it was a torn in Tottenham flesh.
Milton artist.
Nature artist was a
Very
torn in
talented
Tottenham
man. That
flesh.
man could play the harp. There's something, man, he was talented.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Dr. Bright was just in Orange Grove with me, Dr. John Bright. He was
Okay.
Dr. J. Jonathan Bright, he was just in Orange Grove with me like 2 weeks ago. He was speaking to the student at the school, yeah.
Okay,
He,
but he said you didn't get him some of the dome boys. Okay,
well, it
next
was
time.
just Dr. Bright was just an early trip. We stayed in Orange Grove like two hours and we left. But next year you're gonna be in that suite. We all would be there. We have enough space for everybody, for all our guests, and we'll swallow the Duma. two
That's right.
days, one day Duma, one day fufu, one day will be the regular potato green rice, then we leave. Also,
You hear?
our body walk thing.
Yeah,
It will be
you
washed
gotta
with.
wash it down with a club here. Listen, Miss
Yeah, of
Walker,
course, money. What
the
you
man,
talking, money? It will be white or club beer. What you talking? Huh? What you talking, money? You come to Orange Grove, you drink club beer. We'll bring even pound wine, Mr. Good man. We'll bring pound wine.
that's right. Listen, and when you go further down, you go to the Benson River, nothing but crawfish, the real crawfish,
Oh my God,
the real crawfish.
the
So when
crawfish.
you talk about Bassa people now, when you talk about cooking, that whatever, ain't
They
nobody
can
can
cook.
beat
They can
the
cook.
men and women we cook, so don't worry about it.
Yeah,
The Bassa old man then will tell their son, you got to learn how to cook. So when your
yeah,
wife say she ain't cooking for you, you will never starve.
yeah.
So that means
No,
your wife,
you know
she want to
what?
bluff you, she can't bluff you. You can cook.
But the Bata people are some of the best chefs. I
That's
mean,
it.
around Monrovia, the Bata people. Money Walker, yes, be at Jericho next year, God's willing, by this time. That building will be completed. I believe by next year this time, and you will come there, we'll have a nice, I mean, we're talking about close fellowship.
That's
We'll
right.
have a fellowship. We'll have everything you want, it will be there. And y'all stay in the guest house. Y'all will not pay 1 cent for the weekend. We're not even charging for that guest house. It will be free. Y'all will stay there. You
I
know,
got
stuff like that.
I got my neighbor next door, the next county over,
Mhm.
Dr. Oliver Bright. You know, he's the preacher
Okay.
from the St. John Episcopal Church in
For
Buchanan. He's
that's
here now.
Jericho them. That's
Yeah,
Jericho them.
yeah, he's over here. He's pastoring at one of the biggest Episcopal
Yeah,
churches
they.
up here.
Yeah.
So I will tell Dr. Bright, if you go into Buchanan, you go into Liberia, you got to talk to Dr. Peabody so we can go
Yes.
and
Yeah.
eat up Doma together.
No, we
That's
will.
right.
We will. I tell again, I invite you by next year this time, God's willing, we should be done. Maybe we'll just be putting finishing touches, but that place will be light up. It will be everything. I mean, everything is going to be there, and I invite you. Some of our fans, but we'll be there and we'll fellowship, and that's the purpose of going home. You know, the battle
And
can cook. You know,
listen, we are reminiscing about good days. Like Miss Mabara says, she remember selling firewood there during the war when she was young. Can you imagine
hmm
the experiences that these people? This is therapeutic, right?
I was born in Firestone, by the way. My dad worked for
Okay.
Firestone for almost 30 years.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
See,
He used
so
to commute just from Orange Grove. It was like 5 minutes
of
drive.
course, yeah.
He used to commute right from Orange Grove.
But
You know?
this is therapeutic.
Yeah.
Okay, this is how we grew up. This is how we lived.
Yeah.
And going back, look at Jen. Jen is saying during the war, to survive. She sold firewood over there.
Of course.
I mean, this is what we are talking about. When you talk about these things, it reduces our trauma.
Right.
Because the war, whether you were in it or out of it, those who were in it, we understand. But
Yeah.
if you have, those of us who were here during those
Man,
days,
Baba, you've been here for a minute though. You've been here in America for a minute.
yeah, all my life.
You're not there for the war?
No, all my life I
Damn,
came
Baba, you've been here for a while.
my whole life. Okay,
Wow.
because
So don't tell her to be 50,000 for her in Florida.
oh yeah, well listen, I came like a month after the coup.
Oh wow.
Yes, I was 19 when I came right after the coup.
Wow.
So I've been here. I go home every year though,
Mm.
sometimes twice a year. But if you were here, there were no social media. You
Yeah.
were gonna receive collect calls
Collect
from
calls
refugee
from
camp.
Liberia. Yeah.
I remember my phone bill being at $1,300, $1,400 per
Yeah.
month,
Family member calling you.
calling you. And when our phone rings, there's no way you can say no. When they're doing the collect call, there's no way, because every time you pick up the phone, they either somebody's dead, somebody got shot, somebody got killed, somebody. So those that were down there, we were here basically our hearts were in
Wow.
our mouth. Then
Wow.
in the 90s, it got even worse.
Mm.
So yes, when you hear people that survived the war say we were traumatized,
Mm-hmm.
the trauma was on both ends.
Wow.
Psychologically, those are all that were
Yeah.
here.
Your family members. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Worry about your family members. Yeah.
We talk about worried, and then some people got put out of their home because everything they had
They have
had
to
to
give
be
it
sent.
back.
Like I had two homes.
Hmm.
My family, another group were in the Ivory Coast, so I was renting a house there for them.
Wow.
Then
Bless your heart.
I had some that were in Guinea. So
Bless your heart, man.
just imagine you have your own family here. You got to support two group of folks, and it was not just me. This is why me and Willie Knuckles were very close.
Mm.
Never saw him personally.
But you
But
sent a lot of things.
there you go. Because of Willie Knuckles from Brooklyn, I would call him personally. He would say, "Send the money to me. They will get it wherever they are.
Yeah. He was.
You want to buy rice, you want to buy oil, you want anything you want. If you don't have the money, I will send it to them. Send my money next Friday or the Friday. But the people should not go without food or
Yeah.
without the basic necessity of life." That was Willie Knuckles.
He was a good man. Very good man.
Willie Knuckles.
Good man.
Okay?
Good man.
So this is why when these folks, after they screwed up, they not steal the people's money, then they want to turn this thing into country Congo. That's a lie. These
No,
are
it's not
selfish
correct.
people.
It's
These
not
are
correct.
selfish people who don't want
Yeah.
to take accountability, responsibility for their foolishness, and they want to divide. If you ever dealt with Willie Knuckles, I can
He's a
tell
good
you,
man. I know him. He's a good man.
not anybody can tell you that they sent a dime to Willie Knuckles and the whole dime was not given to the family down there.
But that's how I got my ticket to come to the U.S. 1997. They had to send it to Willie Knuckles, and I had to pick up that money to go pay one airline, Liberia. The airline is closed now, but that's how I got my ticket money. Pick it up.
Oh
And
yeah. When they go had that thing, how they call it? It's one thing he had. Service he
yeah.
had.
And I got other money there. Guys. So
I
you
mean,
know
he made money for that thing. Oh.
that Congo
Of
country thing,
course.
like
But he
Liberian
was
needs
honest. He was honest.
Mm-hmm.
A man
You're a
with
good man.
character.
Yeah.
Not until he got burned by people he trusted. And those people go and I'm blessed them. I'm not going to call names.
Actually,
But
yeah.
some of them go and I'm blessed them. How to treat him.
What was the original same way? He's always
That's correct.
That was the main sun way right there.
Yes.
Yeah, that also true. Also too, yes, you just said rice too. So the family back
I
home.
mean, not only rice, anything, oil, rice, anything you wanted, you
He
send
was
the
a good
money
man
to
though.
Brooklyn, your people will get it on the ground.
Yeah,
And
William
if-
Naga was a good man.
if you go,
did to that man, I think made that man to just
But guys, I'm telling you, next year at Crossing Aikman we'll have a retreat in Orange Grove
that would be good.
we'll
that
have a
would be-
retreat.
That would be good.
that would be awesome. We
I
should
mean,
plan it.
we just gotta pray for long life.
Oh,
God will see it through. You know.
It will happen because I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are not talking politics today. It's free. Talk your what is it? Talk your own. Eh?
free talk.
Yeah.
We talking our own.
Free talk.
Y'all would drink the palm wine.
No,
Y'all would swallow the duma.
hey,
It will be all water fish that y'all will use.
Yeah.
Dr. John Bright,
no.
you know, I like to give my friend and brother, Dr. Jellicoe J. Bright, credit. Dr. Bright is in the military.
My
He
cousin,
served,
though.
And
My
the
he
cousin.
served he's a chaplain in the military.
yeah,
And Dr.
what's
Bright
your
went with me to Liberia. He
Yeah, I
he
saw
was
him.
able to go to Orange Grove with me. So I give my brother, Dr. J. Jellicoe
I
Bright, the
just
credit,
seen
man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
And you
saw
know
him.
what Dr. Bright have done?
to see that
He
you
also
know.
had pledged some printers
Yeah, but not
to the
now because
school
I'm on my
in
show.
Orange Grove. So
Okay.
that's just wonderful for him. You know, just you know. So, but if Money Walker, of course, Money Walker, we'll bring Shin Towel, and I'll bring the Modelo from the US and
That's right.
everything. Mama, we open. It will be open, Monique, and you better try to come, Monique. I know you travel all around the world. You got
Money,
to come to Orange Grove that day.
Money's a traveler. She's a traveler.
Money a travel, Money love life. She like
But
good
see,
life, boy.
I
You
can
know,
enjoy it. I
I
get
got
home.
I got to do the cheap plug. If you're in Liberia, listen, you gotta go. Is that the Congotown back way they call it?
Yeah,
yeah.
get out that way.
You got to go to Ala Lagoon
Oh,
and
the one of the
try
best.
the
Yes,
food.
yes.
The rooms are reasonable. They nice. I mean, I'm talking about nice setup.
Ala Lagoon.
No,
Yeah, you
I do
gotta
nice.
go
So the food is one of the best. You know, Gus is my. You know that he's my play part. We used to call it play part those days. So I go to Gus used to work with Ralphie. My dad used to work with Firestone.
there.
And I
Okay.
used to go to Ralphie to Gus. He used to work in the air traffic control. I went I visited that Gus. He was my play part slash whatever. I used to go see him. Every time I used to go to Gus. So Gus, I go back to Liberia. I'm staying at Alago. And Gus see the name Henry Peabody. Gus said that my son now. So he come up to me. He said, "You remember me, Henry? This is Gus Ping." I'm like, "Oh my God, yeah. I stay go. You know what Gus told me? He said, "The man, my son." So when I was time to pay the bill, he said, "How much you can pay? Get that money you can pay. Anything you can pay, that will be it." What I told him was what he told. He told me last year. He said, how much you can pay?" I thought, "Man, he said, my man, you got it." He said, "Anything you can pay, I'll give it to him." And I will stay there. They will not ask me for money until I leave. That's when I will pay. Also, yes, I do that. I'll be the Lagoon too. That's I do that home right
Yeah,
there. That way we had the party for too many birthday that day. We had a goat meat,
Oh,
roasted goat.
the goat soup was the
Oh
best.
yeah, that part
Oh,
was
the goat soup.
that part was heavy. Oh. As all the
We had
money.
one. We had one party there for 2 minutes. I do that hosted that party for 2 minutes. Eh?
Everybody.
They
As
say
all
you're
the,
welcome in citizen brother home. We had one party there. They had goat soup, roasted goat. They had all kind of meat, fish,
my
everything.
my auntie, my mom, everybody came there.
Everybody was there. Then
Yeah.
so I went. Then somebody introduced me to this thing here. They say it can help clean your stomach. Or I went and drank that thing. I almost couldn't make my flight to come back to the station. I don't call that thing too many. Took on a drink.
Oh, I was so impressed at Ala Lagoon when I was leaving.
It was
I
a
went
nice
down.
place.
I went down to the front and I asked the guys, "Do you guys? I think there should be a first aid kit in every room." And I sent them this,
Oh
the big one.
wow,
Oh, that was
Yeah,
good.
wow.
That was
yeah,
good.
the big one. I think I sent about 10.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I'm going again, I take some more. That's
That's
how
good.
good the service is at that place.
Ala Lagoon.
I go girl. But that's what deep brother we can say. He said, "I want to carry the Niji city."
You see, you see, you see.
That's why you got no. That's why I need you place. Just stop. That old dream y'all be living in there. Said I need you place. Stop it. I need you place. I will make that play morning. I want to be no representative. I want to be no official. But I make
Listen,
that play morning when you're trying to be Canada. Say want
No,
to see the
me,
players that the people I had to talk about. Want to see the other
my
people.
representative for that place next election that Maka. I want Maka. I want Maka to be representative for that Orange Grove place.
aha.
Maka.
There you go.
Maka, you know what? And what we're doing, we're going to Little Bassa in the next few weeks. We're going to build a hand pump in Little Bassa. We're going to provide them water in
Oh,
Little
that's
Bassa.
nice. Oh, nice.
And a fish
That
Everybody.
place.
place got some facial. It
Oh
got
yeah.
facial.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Ghanaian people come with a boat. Yeah, the fish.
They got a lot of fish in Little Bassa. I
That's
mean,
good,
Bassa
man.
is just a rich place. I don't think Bassa should be underdeveloped. It's a rich place.
I mean,
Yeah,
when
Calabar is umba de bo Kroma, Lester Kroma.
you
Yeah, very
see,
very nice guy.
so it's not we're not only promoting Bassa people. Kroma on Calabash.
Calabash.
I went Leonard, my adopted son, Leonard Dudu, the guy who owns the newspaper. He said, I'm taking you this weekend, Mr. Gamey, I'm taking you everything on me. I said, where you taking me? You taking me to Alalagoon? He said, no, I'm taking you next door. So Friday we got to Calabash. There were no parking the whole
No, they ain't
place.
got parking. Town like this,
I mean,
you
we
can't park
went.
there.
No,
I
but,
mean, we went all over. We couldn't find parking. We never went in there. There's no
no,
parking.
but you know what happened? When you got it, you can pay to enter Calabash, right? On the weekend, you can pay.
Yes.
Yeah. So the problem with that place, when you get there, we on the show, right? By the time you get there, you gotta even disguise yourself. The guy, by
They
the time
know
the guy
you. They know you.
microphone, they can say, "Welcome to Liberia." You come on the door for the closing argument, and everybody can just start looking.
That's
Eh,
right.
American, and they might they are looking for what you say now. Then you forget it now. You get mouth in there because I'm gonna leave it. But then you go to the bathroom in the bathroom there. When you go to the bathroom in the Calabash, you be keeping get another conversation place. You can be back when you get the bathroom. They put it there. Somebody there. They will know you straight. Say, oh my man, oh yeah, Georgie, yeah. Yeah, my man, Georgie, ruffle. I can't go home, my man. And I eat on your man, but then he said, hey, go. Then he tell him, say, what kind of family? He said, Georgie, hey, man, what you got something there? Give me away here right now. What you got? I said, right now, I'm production, but my picking, get something, get it, man, something for me, I beg you. You're not comfortable there again. That problem you facing. They can be all there. Tell me you. The man feel
No,
announced.
Calabash got good food.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah.
Calabash, nice. You want to enjoy Calabash? Go there like around 6 or 7.
Yes.
Don't go there at 10, 11 o'clock in the night. Money walk out, sure. No, when I be here, money walk out. I can't tell you why I drank. The other one I drank, I tell you when walk out. You probably like Jesus too much. But it was not like Jesus. They get
I
with my
know.
queen while in Maria College. She was my queen. She like Jesus. When you walk out, I here for your Jesus.
But she
Please.
ain't gonna get it from today. Should we get it
Yeah.
from you?
But go to Calabar around 7. You'll be all right. But you go there around 10, 11. No parking. But you know
Especially
what I like?
go to the Friday for get it.
Alalagoon, I could just slip right through. I can leave
Yep.
from Alalagoon and
Yep.
just
And
walk
walk there. Yeah, I
and
didn't
go
know
right
that.
there. No,
I didn't
Gus
know
had
that.
done an excellent job with Alalagoon.
Yes.
I applaud
Yes.
Mr. Augusta Payne. You know, Gus was with Ralphie, and he the one with APN Terminal. He resigned, and he doing his business.
Oh, he resigned our position.
Of course, he had a big position with APN Terminal, and see what he's doing. He need that job with APN Terminal. You know,
That's
Gus
good.
is,
I mean,
you
I
know,
went. Yeah, okay, there go our homeboy.
my
Uh,
picking. Look at my picking.
and
My this kid.
another
I don't
day,
let it. I
But
don't
another
have
day,
to praise that kid
they
too
went to
much
the
to get people
presidential
get
dinner.
jealous.
you made the begin. They don't be the begin so it's so. When you
I
say
applaud him.
you know about computer, IT, the begin no way. Trust me, the begin no. So now I think
The
I
young people,
I whom I'll call him on the telephone. He said just share your screen. And he showed me thing. People
No, he
even
did a very excellent video for my
he
trip to
told me he told
Liberia.
me
In
he told
fact,
me the monitor is on it. He said you know how to do it. He
I'm
said
with I'm waiting. Maybe in the next few weeks I'll do a special show on our trip to Liberia. But this kid did an excellent video about my trip to Liberia that I couldn't even do myself.
that's good.
You
No,
know,
it's good.
excellent,
I
excellent.
applaud him. And no, Grayson, I was talking. Grayson, we got to try to get Myean in the IT school, and we
Yes,
probably
Yes.
sponsor him.
I told him that.
We'll try to get him that. But I don't want to talk too much because I don't think in any studio get Bell be that.
Listen, my nephew, I sponsor him through Stella Marie's, right?
Mm.
He got an electrical engineer degree,
Mm.
but he got his Cisco certification, so he can
Yeah.
work anywhere in the world.
Anyway, in the world.
So,
Anyway.
man, that's something you need to go to Stella Marie's and see what
Yeah.
they got there.
Anyway, man, we'll talk out of the show. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah. We talk outside,
I don't want to
the
talk.
screen.
Yeah, but before I forget, because we're about to end, please, the guys going to Nima for the election. You want we call election in not Easter. You please, we try our best getting Nima before the election because
Yeah.
they'll be there.
How long they going to be in Nima, Tomalin?
They'll be there for a week.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
do the
The
budget. Let's raise the
hotel,
money.
the hotel a night is $50 in Lima.
yeah, and the two of them will be in the same room.
Yeah, two of them can. Hey
Yeah,
man,
they put it. They
really
put,
no man.
but
Tomalin.
you ain't get girlfriend back. I ain't get girlfriend back.
No, you know what to do when it comes home. No,
That one not your business.
that put in different
Just,
room.
just do the budget and let's
Yeah,
let the people let's raise the money.
yeah.
I
To the
mean, some
budget,
good
we'll
things.
try to find the money. But other than sleeping separate room, but let me tell you now, I had the driver I had when I went to Nima. Right, we went. I said, let me see the room. I'll pay. They had one for $75. When you pay $75, it means you have breakfast. Then they had one for $50. So the driver and the receptionist would walk around the room. I saw one. I thought, oh, I like this one. I said, okay, give her two rooms. The driver said, chief. He told the woman, the receptionist said, okay, go. We'll meet you there. We'll meet you downstairs.
Excuse me,
Come in.
Tomalin George.
Mhm.
Can you flag that last statement, please?
Thank you, Dr. Bright.
There
And
you
Dr.
go.
Bright got a kind of show too.
Yeah,
Yes.
come on, Doc.
I'll get you Dr. Bright got a kind of show. You
I
know,
love
this
that
man
jacket.
said,
I love that jacket.
that man, my buddy, he served the U.S. military faithfully. And you know, we honor you, Dr. Bright.
I think that
We
I
honor
think
you.
we met at a funeral recently. We went
And
up there.
cause yeah,
Yeah,
man.
we met at a funeral. Either one, yeah, met at a funeral. Yeah.
Yeah. But we
So
got to get these guys. We'll pay for their 1 week. But my driver now, the man said I tell the man I'm paying for 2 rooms for him. He told the receptionist, he said go. When the receptionist like, he said, boss man, just give me what you got. I will sleep with I will sleep to another hotel outside there. It's cheaper.
But
Hey, they want to do this? He slept in the car.
of
that's
course,
true. But
a better hotel, the car.
I said, okay, there's your $50. The dude was slept in the car.
That's right.
Peabody went to Ganta the night that Biden and Trump had a debate. So the Ganta, the hotel in Ghana were packed. So I called the guy on floor. Floor said, go to the one in Sanikole. When I got to Sanikole, they gave me the room. I said, okay, I got my guys there. So they seen the Peabody happen on Peabody. When I told them, say, get the guys in the room, right? I'll go in my own room too. The man said they waited for me. By the time I left, they say, Chief, the guy won't play outside cheaper than I play. You won't pay for cheaper. Cheaper. I think for true, say yeah, cheaper. But then they say, well, at least we'll save some money. Mind you, I gain the money. They took off the wind. They just went around the area. When I got on the night, I walking. I see them one to my door. One of them in the, I say, they said, you know, we can't let you be here alone. But be with you. I will stay here for. We won't leave you alone. I said, wow. Oh, yeah.
Y'all make the budget. The budget will be $500, $50 for a night.
Yeah.
1 week. No, yeah, $500 for you guys.
Yeah.
And we got to give you guys another $200 for food.
Yeah.
So we'll give you a bill. Maybe
We also
$800.
carrying the bag. We also carrying the bag.
So
Yeah,
we need
carrying
gas.
back.
They need
Okay,
gas.
so we got to arrange at least $1,000 for you guys.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah,
somebody
we
promised
send the budget. We send the budget, Mr. George. You have it.
somebody promised
All right.
20 gallons already.
When you guys supposed to go though?
When you're leaving?
We're supposed to leave on Monday, so it's just the money issue that left for us to pick up.
All right, we gotta try to
Yeah.
do something soon. They leave on Monday. We gotta do something.
Yeah, but we already have our database for the entire county and just left
These
with
kids,
the money.
look, I like these kids. They are great folks. They can work.
You're bringing
You
election.
guys,
You're giving that
I-
election play by play.
yeah.
We created our own war room.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, will you arrange $1,000 to help these guys to go, and we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
I know Nora Hoax already said she already promised to give something for the trip to Nima. Nora Hoax.
So anybody else, guys, if you guys want to give, the kids are going. Nobody, we ain't got money, or we will try to support the guys. So if you guys want to give, the kids can go in front. We'll book the first 2 or 3 days until we reach the $1,000. We'll get it. You don't need to worry.
That first contribution here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, Mr. Bright.
Okay, Dr. Bright, I already said he will contribute $150. Great. Thank you, Dr. Bright. That is so
Right?
generous of you.
Thank you. You see, we're not
And
talking politics, so people helping out. If we didn't talk about Orange Grove, Dr.
yeah,
Bright would never have interest in it.
no,
Orange
no,
Grove.
Dr.
That's
Bright
it.
is from Vassar. He
That's
is the
right.
son of Father J. Jellicoe. You ever heard of Father J. Jellicoe Bright?
That's
That's
right.
his son right there.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
just
There you
he
go.
just turned 90. The Papa just turned 90 something. I think
Yeah.
90 something. They feel it. Yeah, just turned.
Wow.
Yeah, the former rector of the Episcopal rector
Yeah.
Episcopal Church. Yeah, Episcopal Church.
Yes.
Father J. Jellicoe Bright. And his brother Tyree Bright, Tyree Richard Allen Bright, pastor one of the biggest AME church in Atlanta, Georgia. More than
Peabody and Gay Man.
7,000 members.
One time that guy preached, Tyree Bright was in like bro, Taylor Town.
He's
Taylor
a great preacher. Great
Taylor
preacher.
Town. He came from away. So they had the intercessory service. That boy was preaching right on Campbell's Road. Taylor was sitting in the front row. He said, Mr. President, train your men. You're trying to eat you. When he said it, just just laugh. Everybody was scared to say, Tyree preached. Mr. President, train your men. Look, people say, Tyree talking to Taylor now. Taylor was just smiling. But after Taylor said, he said the man is a powerful preacher.
And you know, Reverend Dr. Tyree Bright
in 93 years
has
old.
been Dr. Bright has been one of my strongest supporters of Liberia Mission. Over the last 2 years, he had given more than $10,000 to support my work. A Liberian pastor, Liberian, Dr. Tyree Bright, good guy, good man. If you ever hear I think it's the Allen AME Church in Atlanta, Georgia, historical church. He got over 5,000 to 6,000 members in that church, and he's the head pastor.
I'm an AME when I'm in Atlanta. That's where I go.
Oh, you go to AME Church?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why you
know, so guys,
why
look,
you
man.
talking about Mrs. York, Louis York?
Yeah, Louis York, my old man, too.
From
Louis
MC?
York, yeah, Louis York saw me one time and said, damn, Peabody, you change? She looked at me and said, Peabody, up person, you really change?
President of the
And she passed?
Yeah,
your pass.
3 years ago.
She was the first president for our AME University. Our first president there. She was the first president.
Yes. Yeah. If you went through Monrovia College in the 70s, and you survived.
That was tough those days too.
Oh.
How about Haywood? Haywood Simpson, the man had rotten. He's a big.
Yeah, but Haywood still going good though. You know.
But Simpson not there again. Leo Simpson.
No, but it looked really great. I drove around Haywood the other day in Monrovia. Too many. They even look better than during Leo Simpson time.
Wow.
Now, Reverend Simpson is still there. Who told you he's not there?
He's still there?
He's still there.
Leo Simpson?
Reverend Dr. Leo Simpson is still there.
For real?
Yeah, he still look good. I mean, God can just bless some people that just look good for life.
I mean, might be in his ages old.
He looked very good. I don't want to use the word damn, but he looked damn good.
What?
You know.
You scared Tomalin? I'm hoping before.
Yeah.
No, I mean he's a big people there, you know.
Reverend Simpson is good. He's still going strong. So guys, look, man, the guys are going to Nima to cover all the election. No, he didn't die. Reverend Simpson didn't die. Not at all. The guys are going to Nima to cover the election. And we need to raise at least $1,000 for the lodging, for the transportation, to get around Nima and all. If you want to help us, bro. We need help. We'll try to put something together. You know, I don't like too much begging because I know people are conscious enough to give. That's what, you know, and that's why I don't like it, because I know people are very conscious. They are giving when it comes to stuff like that. So if you want to give, man, help us. We need to raise $1,000 for now at the end of next week. Guys, y'all go on Monday. We'll try to get you guys. If we need to pay for the first 2-3 nights, don't worry. Nobody will kick you out of the hotel. If we could just book the hotel from here and pay online, that would be so easy to do for them, and just go and stay and stuff like that.
And in that way, they can't stay. They can't lie and sleep in the car.
No, they can't sleep in the car. We got a hotel.
They don't support closing argument, you. Yeah.
Argument fans sleeping.
We are not going to be in one hotel. We are not going to be in one hotel.
I didn't know Joseph Waga was your pastor. Why you didn't tell us?
I don't even a Baptist, sir. I ain't a Baptist. I'm a United Methodist, but yeah, I'm my
D
pastor.
D Brother
Oh,
we said D Brother we said
Brandon,
Joseph
Oh,
Waka is your pastor.
we stay in North Carolina, somewhere there.
Brother Weeks, I'm a United Methodist man.
The other man's a deacon. Deacon, well, you know, deacon can be pastor too. People
Oh
don't know
yeah,
that.
you get that man the pulpit. You see Charter, you get him pulpit, the man start
No,
preaching. Oh,
chapter got worse.
the man something else.
The chapter can talk.
Joey said that pastor.
No, Joey,
Hey,
I said the truth.
hey.
What
Joey,
other, too many. What a pastor that we met to the mansion I did with my guilt. All of them were dressed.
let me tell you something, right? Mr. Gamer, when we spoon the Liberia, right? So my girl was acting president. Then we had travel. So he took her to the new executive mansion. When we are officing, we got there, they're on there. They with a long dinner and they're preaching. So they pray. Oh.
I mean, don't can bring the people secret outside.
Blah, blah, blah. After too many, you see the kind of don't say I don't like. Well, my girl carried that to the other office. The other man said, hush, shut up, blah, 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 blah. Who, after you see the nonsense,
Where are they now?
they are regime. That was somebody saying, yesterday, they are
Oh,
regime.
did I flip? Did I flip?
Yeah.
Lord.
Liberia is very interesting. It's a beautiful country. I love that country. You know, everybody gets scared. That the pastor doesn't scare everybody. They get scared. I thought my guy said, "Oh, this is where the president will be." Oh God, that jumper! Shut up!
That's right.
I said, what is this? I remember something, you know. But gosh, you know, I think we're getting ready to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Bright, thank you. But
Yeah.
we want to make sure these guys go to Nima,
Yeah.
and so somebody we may have to host a show to raise the funds for these guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. We
But
Yeah.
we have to convene a group
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
A group meeting. They convene a group meeting. Dr. Bright had pledged $150, so we need to raise the minimum to get them to Nima this week, and then we will. After longer they stay, we'll send more money for them to stay. But we're not going to let them stay in there. We're not going to let them stay.
You also call the resort. They put in like they will chase off on that play.
The Nima boy don't
We
joke now. They
we are
do.
not
no.
going to stay in one place. We are going to move from district to district, so
But
it's not
you
going to be costed.
Very, very good.
but you got
Yeah,
your T-shirt, you got your jackets and things.
everything is set. Everything is set right
Okay,
now.
okay,
So
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, everything is set.
okay, okay.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good, good. Very good.
You make sure what they did to what the woman did, madam, where they do it to you, run you all the time.
And you don't go to the police station in the night. Oh. You know
No,
that.
no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to take time.
We
You don't go.
we we already set our war room, so our war room will already be there, and we are now going to go after putting places in the night. So just going to remain where we are, and we start to get results from there.
So
That's
is
your-
it? So when Kuga launching?
What?
When Kuga launching a campaign?
Coca, what we gather is that Coca will be launching in Ganta, but it's not yet
How about
confirmed.
Edith?
But yeah, for Mark Bruin will be in second PA.
How about yellow?
Yellow.
Yellow, no, I haven't getting any
How about
report on
Edith?
that. No, either no.
So when the campaign officially opens,
It already
They
opened.
can already open.
They
So
launched.
oh,
They just doing a launch, a big rally. Yeah,
okay,
Tuesday will be for Mark Bruin
yeah.
when you'll be launching, and Wednesday will be for when him from this the independent candidate.
But they
I
say
forget me.
Edith launching Friday.
Yeah. Either it's Friday and Koga is Thursday.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So Wednesday is this guy. I
Yeah,
forget me. Yeru.
Yellow.
Wednesday is Yeru. Yes.
okay.
So
Okay.
when you got need to be on the ground.
We need to be there on Monday, and Tuesday we start with Mark Bruin. Mark Bruin is the first person.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So you put the motorbike in the pickup, right?
Somebody,
What?
You put the motorbike in the pickup.
They pick up. We'll send it back if and then we get in a car to go
Okay.
after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
So
bag
Tomalin,
will
we
also
may have
help
to
us in the
convene a
counting.
meeting tomorrow
Okay.
sometime
Yes.
Yeah,
or
tomorrow
Sunday
tomorrow
so
we
we
can
can
do
get
about
them.
I'll be to a funeral tomorrow about Ambassador Tape funeral.
Well, you going to Maryland tomorrow?
Yeah, Ambassador Tape.
I'll be at another funeral tomorrow in Maryland, in Baltimore.
Oh, I see Baltimore, I'll be Baltimore too.
Yeah, but mine are going to a young kid, 17-year-old who got shot.
Oh, maybe after
So
that
I'll go
we'll
to
meet at
see
High
it
Table.
tomorrow.
After that we'll meet at High Table.
Yeah, let's meet at that table. But let's
Okay.
let's plan a time tomorrow to meet so we can make sure these guys go to Nima. Y'all need to leave on Monday, but y'all make sure you're staying in the hotel. If y'all not going to stay in the hotel, y'all let us know that.
Okay.
All right?
So we will be in a
Yeah.
hotel, but we are going to do it like this. The first night
No,
where the campaign launch will be is where we are going to sleep. So
Uh-huh.
if Koga is going to launch in Ban, we'll sleep in Ban.
Mm-hmm.
If Ide is going to launch in Campley, we are going to sleep in Campley. It's not the same place, it's different location. So that's how we're going to do it. We are not going to pay for one hotel for like 3 to 4
Okay.
nights. Yes. So
Okay.
we are going to sleep in second pier, we'll go Tapeta and the rest goes on. So that's how we're
Okay.
going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We will convene tomorrow, and we'll see to get you guys going to ensure that you guys have a place to stay and have food to eat as well. Basically, y'all need food. Y'all will need
Yes,
food to eat. Mhm.
yes.
Y'all need basically food is important. So we'll convene tomorrow.
yeah.
We'll get back to you guys. Guys, it been no politics tonight. We've
Nope.
been having a wonderful show. Patrick Boyd Canada. You said my family said I shouldn't say anything about what not.
That's right.
But
But until you drank over there, don't say anything.
Patrick,
Yeah, I don't say nothing. Patrick, all the way in Australia.
it's a research.
He's a
But
all the way in Australia. They've been inviting me to go there,
information
but I
when you
just
get
been
it,
on
you
that long ride or
so give
something.
me any information I want and get it from that man. Any information in like bro. I'm telling you on top of things.
So that's good.
But that one information from in as a marshal, anyway he'll get on me. Any information I want like bro, Patrick get on me.
That's
Yeah,
good.
guys,
Yeah.
it's been such a wonderful show, man. I mean,
But
Listen,
yeah man,
man.
yeah man,
This
good night, man.
this show took people all the way back. You can
I,
see the
I,
comments.
I won't go to the
yeah,
bar
Listen,
stop.
people
that's
are,
awesome. Awesome.
you know.
Awesome.
I want to get a
Yeah,
lineup shape up for my for
Agnes, thank you. Yeah, it was a great show. Not everything you got kind of be talking politics, but let's talk about our home time. Let's
yeah.
talk about the GB. I'm sorry, Mr. Gimme, you didn't go with me to. I was in Lima, and I ate the GB. I ate that thing with my hand with the some leaders,
Uh,
and it was nice. It was really. I ate it. I couldn't even breathe. I ate it.
oh, listen. Uncle Tom, what you used to say when you're from Basel? Is it the further north you go in Grand Basel, the fufu start getting harder and
hmm
harder and harder.
hmm
When you hit Nima, and I turn to rock.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you
uh-huh.
know what I like about the Basa Domo. The people they got some green stuff when they mix that thing at the Bennessee.
That's right.
Even if you don't have the regular Bennessee, you put that green thing over it.
That's right.
Oh my god! I
You
mean,
ready to go?
you got me. I'm already hungry. I don't even want to talk about it.
Thank you, guys.
Guys,
My
it's been a wonderful show, though.
Thank you.
Wonderful night.
Thank you.
my
Thank you.
we'll talk offline, Maya.
Yeah,
God
Maya,
bless you.
Maya, let us know. We'll convene tomorrow. Have a meeting where you guys need to start from. The first
Okay.
2 or 3 nights, we'll try to arrange something for you guys. All right.
Okay. Sounds good. You're in good hand, Maya. We got
No,
this.
we'll. Mine's a anyway. I don't like to praise mine too much. You can't praise.
And the wet
You got
chicken.
3 children. You can't
Yeah.
praise one. All the other children get best. So you get divided children. You
It's all
can't.
right.
You can't divide children. So, but mine, you're a good kid. You're a good kid.
Thank you very much, guys. See you later.
Okay,
All
man.
right, Doc.
Okay.
Tony, my man, call me tomorrow. God's willing, I'll be in Baltimore.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Dr. Bright, Monique, Patrick,
Yeah. Myself.
Agnes, Jen, my brother, all of you guys. Thank you, everybody who watched the show tonight. If I didn't call your name, Siafa Dix, Morris Johnson, Leon Don, Dan Chi Don, everybody. D Branders Week. Everybody, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. You guys were great for watching us tonight. And we want to thank you.
Ahad
Sama FCC,
Barasi.
you want to join the Sport Talk? Yeah, we're going to bring you on, Sama.
Oh yeah.
Just keep in touch. Keep watching. Ben, thank for Addison. Thank you.
No, don't
Everybody, guys. Siafa Dix, thank you. Catherine Gibson, thank you. Everybody. Claire Richards, Abu Kamar, our old man. Otaku Katuku, thank you. Sophie Blamo, everybody. Viv W, everybody, thank you. I can't name everybody here tonight, though. It's a lot of people I'm looking at here.
Okay.
Roland Trubet.
Okay, Marta, I'll see you tomorrow in Baltimore. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be in Baltimore tomorrow. And guys, have a good day. Augustine, my kid, have a good night. Everybody, hold it down, Timothy. You can shut it down if you want, Timothy.
Yeah.
I'm done.